gentlemen, a very warm welcome. Thapar Institute presents News 18 Punjab Haryana Education Summit Season 5. Innovate, educate, elevate. Powered by Reliance Industries Limited and overseas education partner ESS Global. Today we embark on a journey to explore the transformative power of technology in education, with a focus on India's ascent as a global superpower. Our one-day conference brings together luminaries from the Indian education fraternity for insightful sessions and peer-to-peer discussions. Join us as we uncover the future of education, map technology's role in meeting demand, and tackle the challenges faced by education entrepreneurs. Let's ignite innovation and shape the future of learning together. Let's begin the discussion, but before that, let's have a look at the purpose of the summit through an audio visual. Can we have the AV, please?
हर सेक्टर को बदलाव से बुलंदी की तरफ ले जा रही इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी एजुकेशन सेक्टर में रेवोल्यूशन का मजबूत माध्यम बन गई है। इंफॉर्मेशन एंड कम्युनिकेशन टेक्नोलॉजी का तेजी से बढ़ता इस्तेमाल लर्निंग गैप्स को न सिर्फ कम कर रहा है, बल्कि एडटेक, एआई, मशीन लर्निंग जैसे अल्ट्रा मॉडर्न टूल्स के जरिए क्वालिटी एजुकेशन को ज्यादा एक्सेसिबल, किफायती और स्टूडेंट सेंट्रिक भी बना रहा है। एडवांस टेक्नोलॉजी में एजुकेशन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर कितना अपग्रेड हुआ है, एजुकेशन एंटरप्रेन्योर्स के सामने किस तरह के चैलेंजेस हैं और कौन सी वो पॉलिसीज और स्ट्रैटेजीज हैं जो देश के एजुकेशन सिस्टम को वर्ल्ड क्लास बना सकती है। ऐसे कई जरूरी पहलुओं पर बातचीत के साथ करोड़ों युवाओं के सपनों को पंख देने के लिए सबसे बड़ा मंच लेकर आ रहा है न्यूज 18 पंजाब हरियाणा एजुकेशन समिट सीजन 5।
Let's now move on to the keynote address, and our keynote speaker is Mr. Manish Gupta, proprietor of Synergy Enterprises. Now I would like to invite Mr. Manish Gupta to the podium and request him to deliver keynote address.
A very good evening to everyone. I want to extend a very warm welcome to all the attendees, panelists and organizers of this Education Summit Season 5. I thank News 18 Network for inviting me for this keynote address. I also thank Mr. Jagmeet Singh from News 18 and their entire team a success in their initiative. It's really an honor for me to address this distinguished gathering and also share dais along with esteemed torchbearers of the Indian education fraternity, especially from my alma mater, Punjab Union College, Chandigarh. The theme of today's conference is the critical role that education and information and communication technologies that play in India's ascent to becoming a superpower status. India has one of the world's largest youth population, with approximately 600 million people under the age of 25. This demographic dividend has the potential to be a powerful engine to growth and innovation. Quality education is the key to unlocking the potential of the India's youth. It is essential to ensure that they are equipped with the skills and knowledge to drive the country towards becoming a global superpower. ICT has revolutionized the education landscape. From online learning platforms to digital classrooms, technology has made education more accessible, personalized and effective. ICT can help bridge the learning gap between the urban and the rural population, providing students with access to quality education and regardless of their location. Technology allows for scalable educational solutions that can be delivered cost effectively to a vast population. This scalability is very much crucial for reaching India's 600 million aspirational youth. Since I belong to the industry, I also believe that the tax superpower stems from growth of industry as a whole. So what does education mean to industry? I had been the former chairman of CII Chandigarh 2 years back, and that way where interaction amongst the academia and the industry started. So from my learning, the education should foster for skilled workforce, innovation and problem-solving capability, inculcate the adaptability and the flexibility, contribute to quality and standards, prepares for leadership and management roles, inculcate ethics and professionalism, and promote the continuous improvement. So overall, education is very much essential for industry as it provides the foundation for a skilled manpower along with stated attributes, all of which are very much crucial for a sustainable growth and success of business, vis-a-vis paving way for growth of the success of India. ICT also holds significant importance for industry in various aspects. ICT enhances the efficiency and productivity, enables data management and analysis, facilitates communication and collaborations, optimizes supply chain management, helps in the market expansion and e-commerce, foster innovation and research, and helps in risk management and security and regulatory compliances. In summary, ICT is integral to the modern industrial landscape. Embracing ICT enables industry to stay competitive, agile and resilient in an increasing digital and interconnected world. Now I would like to talk about the few aspects or key trends in the ICT and education which is actually fostering towards the India's growth. The rise of EdTech. India has seen a rapid rise of EdTech companies providing innovative solutions for education and learning. These companies are playing a pivotal role in democratizing the education and making it more lucrative. Artificial intelligence and automation has significant implications for education. It can be used to create personalized learning experiences, automative administrative tasks, and enhance the educational outcomes. However, we must also address the potential impact of AI on employment and workforce development. Virtual and augmented reality. These technologies offer immersed learning experiences that can transform traditional educational methods. As far as the challenges in education is concerned, despite technological advancement, India still faces challenges such as unequal access to technology, the digital divide, the disparity between urban and rural education system. Addressing these challenges is crucial to India's progress. And among the opportunities, the collaboration between government, industry and academia is essential to harness the full potential of education and ICT. This cooperation can drive innovation and lead to the development of robust education system in India. In this rapidly changing world, lifelong learning is very much critical. We must create a culture where continuous learning is encouraged, empowering individuals to adapt to new technologies and opportunities. We should look at education and ICT at a manner that they are building a superpower. So, education and ICT together can create a skilled workforce ready to compete on a global stage. This workforce will drive innovation, entrepreneurship, and economic growth. A technologically proficient workforce is very much crucial for the nation's security in an era of cyber threats and digital warfare. Education and ICT plays a pivotal role in fostering entrepreneurship and nurturing a vibrant startup system in India. A strong educational foundation provides aspiring entrepreneurs with the requisite knowledge and skills to identify opportunities, develop business ideas, and navigate the complexities of scaling and scaling ventures. ICT tools and platforms facilitate the creation, management, and growth of startups by providing access to funding, mentoring, market information, and network opportunities. In our conclusion, as we move forward, let's embrace the power of education and ICT to build a stronger, more prosperous India. We must invest in education, bridge the digital divide, and encourage innovation to achieve our superpower aspirations. The synergy between education and ICT is pivotal for driving the progress of the India by fostering skill development, innovation, productivity, global competitiveness, entrepreneurship, and ongoing learning. Embracing this synergy can unlock immense potential for growth and prosperity across various sectors of Indian economy. Thank you all for your time and attention. Let's work together to create a future where education and technology drive India's success. I look forward to the insightful discussions and panel sessions ahead, and we all be entitled to hear from them. I once again thanks News 18 and their entire team a success in their initiative. Best wishes to all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your opening remarks on the summit. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Jagmeet Jammu, Regional Head News 18 Punjab Haryana JKLH, to please come on stage and felicitate our honorable guest, Mr. Manish Gupta. We'll now move on to the first session where we'll discuss how ICT is bringing growth in India. Can we have the AV, please?
जिस तरह क्वालिटी एजुकेशन हर इंसान की जिंदगी बदल देती है, उसी तरह इंफॉर्मेशन एंड कम्युनिकेशन टेक्नोलॉजी आईसीटी ने एजुकेशन सिस्टम को पॉजिटिवली और डीपली चेंज कर दिया है। इस डिजिटल एरा में महज एक क्लिक में स्टूडेंट्स को क्वालिटी एजुकेशन मिल रही है। वर्ल्ड क्लास पेडागोजीज के जरिए पढ़ने, सीखने और करियर के बेहतर ऑप्शन मिल रहे हैं। आईसीटी के बढ़ते इस्तेमाल से इंडियन एजुकेशन सेक्टर बदलाव के साथ आगे बढ़ रहा है।
To have a discussion on this topic, I would like to request my colleague Aditi Tyagi to please come on stage. Now I request our panelists to please come on stage. First we have Dr. Ajay Patish, Deputy Director and Chief Academic Officer, Thapar University. Welcome, sir. Next we have Professor Baldev Sethia, Director, PEC. Next we have Dr. Lalit K. Awasthi, Vice Chancellor, Sardar Patel University. Welcome, sir. Over to you.
Thank you so much. So ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤਿਆਰ ਹੋ? ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤਿਆਰ ਹੋ? खाना नहीं खाए तुसी? खाना नहीं खाए? मुझे मजा नहीं आ रहा, मैं दिल्ली से आई हूँ, तालियों में इतनी कंजूसी क्यों? प्लीज ह्यूज राउंड ऑफ अप्लॉज फॉर आवर गेस्ट. Thank you so much, and I promise you I won't let you get bored. We are going to play T20. 2020 cricket, right? You must be getting matches in Chandigarh also, Mohali I must say. And I promise you I'll try to speak and ask questions that you would have in your mind. So I'm going to start the session, and as you saw in the AV, how ICT is bringing growth in India. Dr. Saab, I'll begin with you. And when I was looking at your LinkedIn profile, I saw that you are an institution yourself. In an age where people like to make changes pretty fast, especially when it comes to workplace, you have been at one institution for close to 25 years. So loyalty, commitment, how have you kept it going, and how much do you think ICT has played a role in this journey of yours?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's working.
Okay.
Hold the mic closer.
Thank you for having me here. I have been at Thapar since 1999, as you rightly captured, and very humbled by the kind words you spoke about me. If I look back for the last 25 years, like I'll possibly complete this in the next 2 months.
Yeah, Silver Jubilee.
A silver jubilee at Thapar Institute, right? So that's,
Huge round of applause, please. Please, guys, कंजूसी नहीं, तालियों में कंजूसी नहीं.
Right. So when I look back, to the times when I was a student at Thapar Institute in mid-80s, and then 10 years in industry, and then 1999 onwards in the university, I would remember that the first 10 years, say from 1999 to say 2000, were exactly similar to what used to happen in my time as a student. Things started to change for us, at least in Thapar Institute, I would say 2013 onwards, right? Until that point in time, like everybody else in India, we were more content-driven, textbookish, right? So the whole education paradigm was that you have a prescribed syllabus, right? And students would remember formulas, they will go and write an exam, possibly do very well. But the education was very prescriptive. So what would happen generally was that students would, after they write the exam, they will forget in a few weeks or a few months what's going on. When in 2013-14 is the time when we started to move away from content-driven education to more ICT-based. And I would at least at that point in time add also that we started to move in the direction of outcome-based education, in a project-led education, in entrepreneurial education, self-directed learning, research-inspired, right? Thapar Institute has got almost about 700 faculty. And almost many of our, vast majority of them are very research active. So we encourage all of them to take their research to the classrooms and encourage the students and towards innovation, right? So that's a small change we started to build in 2013-14 onwards. I would say today very proudly of last 10 years of how we have handled this is that all our programs that we offer today are outcome-based. Now, that's not merely a word because we built in minor projects, major projects, capstone projects into almost the entire curriculum that we offer. Now, of course, of late in the last 2 or 3 years, AI has become such a big buzzword all around. So we have also taken a very major step in this direction. We are right now in the process of signing up with NVIDIA, right? NVIDIA is the largest GPU manufacturing company in the world. And last month, myself, our chairman, director, and of Professor Maninder Singh, we visited NVIDIA headquarters. They also facilitated a visit to University of Florida and SMU in Dallas, where they have set up what is called as an AI institute, right? What we are now trying to do over the next, when I say what's going to happen in the future is that we make everyone AI literate on our campus. Okay. The idea here is that AI is not only just a tech program. AI is going to be added to every course that we offer, every program that we offer, be it liberal arts, be it management, be it all engineering programs, psychology, and whatever, because today's jobs are all driven by AI. Look at health center, health services, look at weather. Look, when I was in the University of Florida, the data center had told us, that they tried to see that they have 2,800 movies of 2 hours each. If you want to have to watch it, it will take you 1 year. Even if you watch them at 1.5 times the speed, it will still take you 6 months to watch them.
And then probably the question of how long would you take to process that as
right.
well.
And then you need to process it. Now look at the DG sets that we are buying, the NVIDIA supercomputers that we are buying. They will do that job in 1 second, that kind of an equipment, right? Now look at the weather stations today. If you keep collecting the data we used to do it in the past, it will take you weeks to process the data. Okay. We have to work on a weather situations on an immediate basis, right? So AI is something which is going to majorly impact our lives and all the jobs, whichever, it's not only tech, every job it will impact. So we have taken this step. We are subject to, of course, regulatory clearances, are going to offer a AI and machine learning program starting this year, full time, and with a major investment from NVIDIA into the skills development at Thapar Institute. This is the direction that we have taken. So I can now look back with a lot of pride that the last 10 years has been a very major breakthrough for us in terms of how pedagogical inputs we have made into our curriculum. Right? Thank you.
Sure. Professor Saab, Prime Minister Modi has been harping on the fact that India would be the third largest economy in next 5 years. He says that probably in next 3 years. But my question to you would be, how much would education sector contribute to that, and how huge a role would be played by ICT towards that?
Well, thank you for this opportunity. And
Pleasure, sir.
Our Pradhan Mantri ji has also stated that we are looking at the Viksit Bharat in 2047. Well, I want you to ponder over the first part as well, that today we are the 5th largest economy of the world.
Absolutely.
Militarily, we are at number 4, 3rd largest budget of the world, 14 lakh strong army. Space exploration, we have shown through Chandrayaan that we are the real boss. COVID-19, it tested us and we came out with flying colors. And still we believe that we are not a superpower. So what else is required in this case? Well, I believe what you stated, that we need to be economically strong still further. And in that, in the whole lot of list if I describe, I find that education is at number 1. And then education, what kind of education? Not the kind of education that we have been having during the last 50, 60 years. Though, of course, from the traditional knowledge base, we have come on to the skill base, and we are moving still further. But then this needs to be disseminated faster, at a rate faster than ever before. And during our testing time in COVID-19, it was made amply clear that yes, we are in a position to do that. Our level was 4x. So ICT played a tremendous role in disseminating this information, this knowledge, and the available technologies. So I believe technology, and especially ICT, this is going to be the base through which India will be headed towards a superpower. Because that's how we are going to make everybody educated. And the benefits of whatever we have, mainly the education, they will be reaching the largest population. And Antyodaya, the person sitting in the last row, once he is given these benefits, then only we can think of becoming the real superpower. See, in general, you would agree with me that the kind of jobs or the services or the resources that we have, say if you put them as primary, secondary, tertiary, primary, those which are concerned with the agricultural part, the mining part, the water resources, the natural resources. Then number 2, we have the industry. There, or say the third one comes where you have services, consultancy. The third one is making the largest use of this technology, ICT, be the information for making decisions, or be it the communication and the technology of all sorts. Second one, yes, it has been able to draw the next best out of the ICT. CAD, CAM, machines, everything we are having. But the first one, where still I believe 70% of the country is based, the agriculture part, the natural resources, there we have not been able to reach up to the last person. So that's where I believe we need to target.
And that's precisely my question to Dr. Saab, to you, as Sir has spoken in greater detail about how we need to manage Antyodaya. So somebody who's watching this broadcast, sitting in a remote village, and he's not or she is not techno-savvy. Like, for example, yes, technology exists, it comes with its own advantages, but then at the same time, people have certain perception about it. Some people are tech-savvy, some aren't that tech-friendly. So when it comes to the education sector, that last person that Professor Baldev Setia was talking about, how would you convince him or her to take this up, to, attune the mindset, and become more tech-friendly and take up such programs?
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir, for joining.
I'll say that for the digital literacy.
Yeah.
The boost has been from the government of India. There have been, in 2015, more than 15,000 crores have been put for educating people about digital literacy. So the government initiatives, coupled with the initiative of you can say some industries and from educational institutions, we are going for digital literacy. And I think it will definitely take some time. But as you see, when it was a pandemic time, over the night, every education institute become digital institution. So you can see, when there is a urge and there is a need and there is a market and there are all government assistance, I think it is going to happen. And you can see, as on date, all higher education institutions, they are into this and they are also contributing for digital literacy. And maybe now the next step can be that we can have these Skill India, other kind of programs which go deep into the roots of Indian, you can say villages or rural India, and they can educate the people in digital literacy. So that's what we can think of.
So, Dr. Saab, just building on what Dr. Lalit K. Awasthi has just said, and the idea that I was talking about, where some can be very tech-friendly and some can be averse to it. When you talk about the ecosystem, and Sir did talk about the ecosystem, how the government has been helping, how there have been innovations. I will come to the cost part, from where the money would be coming to this. But doesn't this require a mindset change? Because when I talk to people, especially, I'm not trying to stereotype, but don't you think that there are certain challenges that exist in the rural markets?
Does, because of course there are infrastructural issues, right? So in the rural areas you will have connectivity issues, things of those kinds. But I will also like to give you an example here again from my own, experiences at Thapar. We run a project called Digital Villages, right? Now, the Digital Villages projects is of course done in the field. We do a lot of work in the labs, but there's also a lot of work done in the fields with the farmers, with people in the rural areas, right? Now, what exactly is being done is that, one of my colleagues, who's the PI of the project, and we also have a PI abroad in a different university, he's sitting here right now in this. So what they have been trying to do in this case is, they have been trying to use sensors. They have been trying to educate the farmers to use those sensors to pick up information on the crop. Mm-hmm. I went with them to one of these field studies because we adopted 10 villages near Patiala last year, right? And what we did was that they deployed drip irrigation system in some fields and traditional flood irrigation in different fields. And we co-opted the farmers on the field, right? None of them knew how to use those sensors, which actually went into the crop. None of them knew how to use the drones that we actually had put in to capture the crop data and everything. But as soon as we actually made this, infrastructure available to them, the usage was enormous. They just grabbed it with both hands. So what I'm trying to say here is, from this example, is that once the infrastructure reaches these rural areas, the technology will immediately be taken in by all. Right now,
But has it? Has it reached these
it
remote
hasn't,
areas?
Right? Some of the, what my understanding is, those who have close access to the urban centers, there it has definitely reached. But areas which are deeper inside, which are quite far away from the urban centers, there it will still take some time. As Professor Awasthi mentioned, COVID was kind of, was a blessing in disguise, right? At least for the ICT part of it, right? Overnight, something which would have possibly taken us a decade to do, it happened in 2 years, right? Everybody became tech savvy. I remember, school teachers who had never used any ICT tools before, suddenly they were teaching classes over Zoom or something or other platforms, right? They all became tech savvy. Little children sitting in front of computers and trying to attend classes, games. So all this was actually, accelerated by COVID, right? There were a lot of problems with COVID, but this one was, I would say, was a kind of a advantage which we got from ICT. So what I'm trying to say here is, rural areas still would need infrastructure, bandwidths, all the, everything that is needed to make it ICT ready. We are not yet there, but I think we are on way to get there.
Professor Saab, when I was working at UNESCO headquarters in Paris, they used to talk about ICT competence for teachers framework. And the whole idea was democratization of education, especially in the African continent. If I try to ask you a question about how much it has been implemented on the ground and what sort of changes, can one say that education now in India is more democratized as it was in the past?
Pardon?
As
More?
compared to the past? Is it more democratized?
Oh, certainly. Education now, I would say, is fully democratized. But look at the teeming millions that we have. Reaching out to people, well, now I'll change the stance a little and put a question before everybody. With or without ICT, if I look back at the last 50 years, our problems have still remained the same. Hunger, unemployment, climate change, we need clean environment, we need energy. So all those have still remained the same. What is it that we are trying to do now is, yes, now we are trying to educate more and more people and dissemination through the ICT tools. This can help us. And in fact, this is one big mode how education can be democratized. So, yes, I mean, I don't find any doubt in that, that it is not democratized. In India, at least, the kind of policies that we have, education for all. Yes, the difficulties could be at different levels, but then so far as the facilities, look at even the higher education, which not many countries in the world have. We have perhaps the largest and the cheapest, most economical setup for higher education. No country in the world provides higher education and technical education at such cheap prices. And that's what I believe is democratization, the biggest step towards democratization.
Dr. Lalit Kiyawasthi, this is my last question for this session, and I would like to ask you about the challenges ahead and what sort of help would you expect from the government or other stakeholders to improve the situation? Because if we read about EdTech, they say the bubble has busted, there are challenges ahead. So how can those challenges be tackled?
Definitely the government policies, the people expectations, there is a gap. But you can see the kind of ICT tools we have, majorly we can say the mobile, the smartphone, it has come to be very common now. And this has become one of the tool to educate people, whether it is farmer, whether it is a person, a student, or any other sector. So you can see challenges are there, we need to reach. So bandwidth and other things, but all these aspects, the bandwidth on one side, the computing devices on the other side, the ICT tools on the other side, and maybe sensor technology, whatnot, every technology, those technologies we are advancing, but maybe little bit we need to do it at a faster pace. Maybe we need to put more efforts on how we integrate all of them and make it usable to the common man, maybe to the to a farmer in the fields, isn't it? Exactly. The example which have been given that farmers are using the sensors and all those things. Those needs to be done with them, and it is the I think if it has to change, it is the educational institutions which have come to fore, and they need to deliberate and they need to come to the grassroots. They need to go to the villages and educate. I think this is biggest education setup of India. It is going to change this landscape altogether. Maybe Thapar PAC or Sardar Patel University or any other institution. Maybe the school teachers or educators, they need to deliver whosoever is educated, they need to educate more.
Well, sir,
Excuse
then,
me, if you
yeah.
allow me to add. See, if you look at the ground, basically the government policies, there are only two ways how we accept this kind of technology. Either there is a pull, I like something,
Yeah.
and I would like to see that. I can even watch the kind of plays which are available in some other language which I don't understand. And then there is push. See, look at the e-Disha, e-Mitra, the registration of your land records, everything. Now, is that, I mean, what else does the government come forward to do? I believe we have not seen the use of technology better than ever before. With these kind of facilities and help reaching out to the common man, it's a big tool and it is reaching out to people in India.
And that is what anyone sitting in this room would want. Thank you so much, gentlemen. I really enjoyed this session. I hope you guys also felt the same way. Please, huge round of applause for these gentlemen. Thank you so much. And it's over to you, sir.
Thank you so much all for the valuable insight. Please stay on the stage. Now I would like to invite Mr. Jagmeet Jammu, Regional Head, News 18 Punjab Haryana, JKLH, to please come on stage to felicitate our honorable guests.
एक तो आप लोग ताली में बड़ी कंजूसी करते हैं.
First we have Dr. Ajay Batish, Deputy Director and Chief Academic Officer, Thapar University. Thank you very much, sir. Then we have Professor Baldev Sethia, Director, Faculty. Thank you so much, sir. And we have Dr. Lalit K. Awasthi, Vice Chancellor, Sardar Patel University. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everyone. Let's move on to the second session, in which we'll discuss generative AI. Will it create employment or unemployment? Can we have the AV, please?
किसी न्यू टेक्नोलॉजी के आते ही डिस्कशन का दौर शुरू हो जाता है। आज आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस यानी एआई को लेकर किया जा रहा है। बहस का मुद्दा है, फ्यूचर में बड़ी तादाद में लोगों को रोजगार से हाथ धोना पड़ सकता है। लोगों के विचार चाहे कि ऐसे क्यों ना हो, लेकिन सही मायनों में एआई ने हमारी दुनिया को कल्पना से भी ज्यादा प्रभावित किया है। बिजनेस, एजुकेशन, हेल्थ केयर, फाइनेंस, इंडस्ट्री जैसे कई सेक्टर्स के रेवोल्यूशनरी ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन को एआई तेज रफ्तार दे रही है।
To have a discussion on this topic, I would like to request my colleague Aditi Tyagi to please come on stage. Now I request my panelists to please come on stage. First we have Dr. Maninder Singh, Dean of Academic Affairs and Professor Computer, Thapar University. Welcome, sir. Then we have Dr. Sudarshan Iyengar, HOD, Computer Science and Engineering, IIT Roper. Welcome, sir. Then we have Colonel Rajiv Bhargava, Senior Associate Director, Indian School of Business. Welcome, sir. Over to you, Aditi.
Thank you, sir. So, in our first session also, we heard a lot about AI, and now we are talking about generative AI, which is more specific. So since I got to know about this session, there is only one question that came to my mind, and I'm sure that question may be in many people's mind over here as well. Can there be AI Aditi conducting this session with you guys? Dr. Saab. And can she be as passionate, as talkative as I am?
Yeah. Thank you very much to the audience, to you people.
Thank you for joining, sir.
Thank you.
And I'm sure everybody is looking forward to this session and the sort of insights and whatever learnings that you take from here. And the question that I have asked, I have heard that question from many people, and that has been the biggest fear about the technology and AI specifically. So.
Yeah, as you asked that, is it possible to have a replica of Aditi sitting here and taking? It's perfectly possible. Even three of us can be in a virtual mode sitting
So
here.
probably in our next summit, we might have them conducting the session. But would the guys enjoy? That's another question.
No, but as a human, I would like to have a face-to-face conversation for sure. But let me tell you one or two things which are happening in this AI world. Just 10 days back, there was a news from Hong Kong that there was a conversation which was happening between employee and a manager, and there was an AI at the back, and it was speaking with the same tone as his superior would have done. And it was told that you transfer this much of money to secretly to a particular account. Then this guy got, there may be some issue with this kind of call. So he said, I cannot do this, sir. So I want to have face-to-face conversation. He said, okay, I'm sending you a Zoom link, and it is available. You can look at media. So they said, okay, no problem. I am sending you a Zoom link. As soon as this guy clicked on a Zoom link, there was a perfect setup as he's being like this. His boss was sitting. There are a few employees were sitting, and he was talking. And later on, it was found that his boss and those audience all were AI replicas. And this is in the news, and it has happened now. And the same question you have asked. So it's possible to do that. So the ethics is one another thing which is going to come up when we talk later.
And probably regulation becomes more important over there.
It is. It is. That's why the Educational Institute, see, when we started, Professor Batish was also telling, when we started our journey, we thought of that we'll have only one program, which is computer engineering, because many of the institutes have started AI, software engineering, data science, information technology, computer science engineering, computer science and business system, and whole of the audience was, whosoever wanted to take admission was confused what to do. So we thought that we'll do some interventions. So we did intervention at the elective focus level. But now those things are changing because the AI has already changed the whole setup. Now we are going to start a new BE AI ML program. But this will not have those focus areas. It will have different verticals. And within that verticals, I think AI literacy, as Professor Batish already told, AI literacy is the word. And going beyond, Professor Setia also told that what else we need to prove that we have superpower. So these things are required. So we are thinking of digital or AICT. AI literacy is the another thing which is going to come in a near short span of time.
Interesting. Dr. Iyengar, just building on what Sir said just now, so probably next summit, in a couple of years' time, I might have, or we might have, on our platform, Dr. Sudarshan Iyengar speaking in Hindi, and that is generative AI. So the question is, are people going to lose the job, or and how about human response to AI?
Firstly, I can speak good Hindi. And as with the question of people being better off as AI clones than themselves, is a little disturbing for humans in general, but the fact is fact. It is going to be better than humans. Better even is, let's say as you were saying, will AI Aditi replace Aditi? Definitely yes. It will be super better than you if it knows your style of talking, the way you use your vocabulary, the way you use your phrases, and so on and so forth. Generative AI, when customized, is something very different. And that's where the world is heading towards right now. You create a smart replacement for Sudarshan, but customized to the style of Sudarshan. See my accent. It's not very northish. You can make out I'm from south. So can you emulate this accent? Definitely yes. Hell yes. It's very easy to emulate it. And we are very close to doing that. Now, the point is...
Let me just jump in. You said AI Aditi can replace Aditi. Okay, she can customize my style. But how about my response to a situation? Or human response to a situation, which is quite different from Dr. Saab, Dr. Maninder Singh, Dr. Sudarshan Iyengar, or Aditi Tyagi, probably if we are put in the similar situation, we are going to respond to it in a very different manner. So even if a machine is customized, it can emulate me probably, it can copy me, but can it trigger the similar sort of reaction that I would have in a challenging situation?
So this is a good question. So what it will do is, let's say it will emulate you or me, but when required, it uses the wisdom of the world. So it's basically trained on all possible situations of, so for instance, you have a tiff with your colleague, right? You type in that on a typical ChatGPT-like interface. It's completely AI-driven. What that does is looks at the world's problems so far, looks at this kind of a situation was being handled by this kind of a solution, and here's your solution. That way, it is Sudarshan with Sudarshan's accent, Aditi with Aditi's style and vocabulary, but with the wisdom of the world. And that's going to be whopping awesome, as you can see, right? And we are not just close, but we are almost there right now.
It's awesome. Or how many people over here feel threatened? Because personally, I feel threatened. I don't want machines to take over. I'm sorry. Nothing against the technology, but I want to remain unique. How many people here want to remain unique and would not want their clone or AI in their name? Just raise your hands, please. So I can see. So I think it is 60% people, they don't want to be emulated or copied or cloned. And do you think you can be replaced? Yes or no? So is it the humans trying to convince themselves, no, we are not facing any threat? Or is it more like it is real? It is for a fact that humans can never be replaced by AI.
Again, a very good question. So there is this beautiful quote which says, set a thief to catch a thief. So when you're being super smart as an AI, put another AI this side. All right? It will tell me that, for instance, when you're playing chess,
Yeah.
face to face, we know you're not cheating. But what if you're at the comforts of your house, I'm at the comforts of my house, using a fantastic AI engine to see the next move? While it is very easy for me to defeat you if I use the AI engine, but it is very easy for your engine to detect that I'm using AI engine. You get what I mean? So here's a upper hand of the detection tool over the cheating tool. But then, as they say, when there is vulnerability, you tend to cheat. Right? There's a small gap between research progress where people come out with AI technologies. It takes just a few days, few yards to come out with detection tools. Where someone's cheating. For instance, when my mom and me first went to buy a television, I was looking at this big, beautiful television with 65 inches television with T20 going on there. But for my mom, some fellow there took and showed Mangal Bhavan. My mom was sold. He said, this is the TV I want. So the point there is less of television, knowing more of what's the vulnerability of this person. But imagine my mom had an AI engine which would say, this fellow is trying to cheat you by knowing what's your weak point. And my mom would say, wait, I'll call my son. Than saying, there is football, here is Chopai, I'll choose this over that. Right? So the set a thief to catch a thief is how it's going to be. And for this, we need fantastic education in the country. Where what is called the gain of function research is the term that came during COVID. The point is that if you're going nuclear, I better go nuclear. You're doing it for peace, I'll also do it for peace. But if you're going, I'll also go nuclear. If you're coming out with a bio war tomorrow, I better know my gain of function there. Similarly, when someone's doing, AI advances, it's very important that we also keep in pace. How do we keep in pace? Through education. How do we educate? Through institutes. What are these institutes? Nothing like the institutes of this place especially. That is where I come. If you can give me a minute. There's a time when people from Bangalore, I'm from Bangalore, Mysore region, people from there would say, oh, here's a person from Punjab. Why are you here? There are no many engineering colleges in Punjab, that's why I'm here. But I am here from Mysore for a simple reason that in a small radius of a few kilometers, you have IIT Ropar, ISER, Thapar, PEC, UIET, several great private partners, Indian School of Business. This is like the research triangle of North Carolina with 3 top universities. Here we have a dozen universities. A lot can happen over a few kilometers. Like they say, a lot can happen over coffee. A lot can happen over a few kilometers. The point is for all of us to get together as institutes and make this AI education happen. As I say, Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3 institutes, there is something called a super tier institute, which is the union of all these Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3 institutes. We must basically talk like this
And there
and
should be
beyond.
coordination and cooperation.
Absolutely.
On a bigger scale, larger scale. Colonel Saab, you have been enjoying this conversation. At least that's what your expressions are telling me. You might be setting me up because Dr. Iyengar has spoken about setting up. So you do set up people in Forge, right? Against anti-terror ops. So a Forgy in a business school and this whole discussion about AI. How do you process that?
Okay. Firstly, Aditi, I must say, and that's why I was smiling, and that is that no AI can ever replace Aditi. It can't be as pretty, as smart. And let me also say that no bits, bytes, and so on can ever replace the human neurons.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. At least you gave me the assurance that I'm irreplaceable.
No,
Thank
definitely.
you so much. Huge round of applause for him. I know I'm selfish. He has praised me, so I'm asking you to clap, but thank you.
Yeah, I'll give you another example of human ingenuity. Very simple. See, nowadays, in various colleges, the biggest problem is that students copy from ChatGPT and bring up their essays and everything. So it becomes a major problem. So what, one college did, very interesting. So they gave a sort of paragraph on which you were to modify or reduce or whatever. And in that paragraph, towards the end, they wrote, if you have reached here, please note that there is no response required to this essay. Okay. Now, when these guys, whoever gave it to ChatGPT doesn't realize the significance, right? That there is no response required. So they made a response, a summary or something. So whoever responded got a 0. Whoever didn't respond has actually read through the thing. So, yeah, so keeping that in mind, I feel that human ingenuity will always be ahead of AI or anything that may be coming up. And today, in fact, I was reading something and I realized, I give you the basic topic today being that impact of AI on employment. I would give an example. Now, in an advanced nation, say 200 years before, 80% were farmers. Now, if I today go to that farmer 200 years back and tell him that in 2024, in that same nation, only 1% are farmers, he will be flabbergasted. He will say, what are these 79% doing? Right? And if I tell him that those 79% are not only thriving, they have all the facilities of Netflix, they have all the facilities of flying, they are living a life like no other ones. That I'm sure that person will never believe me. Now, if that 200 years, if I take it today out here, don't you think we are the same farmer? Frankly, we are all flabbergasted that AI has come, AI will do this, AI will do that. I think AI will make our life better. We will be able to live this life much better. We will be able to enjoy the nuances of life. We will not be doing that repetitive, boring stuff. We will leave it to the AI to do it. And I'll give you another example. A research and a survey which was done by Gartner in 2022, it said, it asked about people that how many jobs are created by AI versus job taken away by AI. You will be happy to know that 3.2 million jobs were created and 2.8 were taken away. Right?
Wow.
And one more example. Statista, if you see, has done a survey for the, if I may say, the Asia Pacific region to identify whether people are afraid of AI.
I'll just take it out. They are nervous regarding AI. So I'm reading out how the results are. And let me see if you can catch what is there in that. Australia, 69% people felt that they are nervous about AI. In the world, average was 52%. India was 58%. South Korea, 44%. And Japan was 23%. Can anyone see the dichotomy in this? See, the dichotomy is the nations which are most advanced are the least nervous.
And we are more confident about ourselves. Wow, this is quite an interesting observation.
That's very interesting because they know that AI is not going to take away their jobs, it is going to facilitate their jobs. Back to you.
Sir, the point about human ingenuity, would you like to build on that or add to it?
Yeah, see, the discussion is not here that AI will take me out of this scenario. It's not that. Okay? So it's as a younger also said. See, it's a replica of Aditi with more wisdom. But it is not going to take you away. Anybody here can say that you are going to live forever? Not possible. Okay, we are humans. Okay, so we have to go one day. But what if I can preserve your wisdom? That is what we want. So there are our forefathers who have gone away, but they had that wisdom. We talk about our Indian scriptures and their wisdom. Why can't we take and preserve them so that they can be later used?
So sir, just to play the devil's advocate, my wisdom has been acquired over a period of time through certain experiences. So I would want my future generation to acquire wisdom through experiences, not through artificial intelligence, no?
No. That's not the theme. See, you need to understand where AI is. Let me give you one example. A few years back when I was going to this Chandigarh airport, I saw in the urinals it was written, do not spit tobacco in urinals. Punjabi ch likhya si, thukko na paan pishab vich. You tell me, is it a translation? So we have come long way. Now, if you talk today, I was just going through ChatGPT 3.5 and ChatGPT 4. I'll just read it for you. And you try to understand what is happening. And if we put that context, see these machines and wisdom, it's all developed by humans. Nobody is against humanity. Okay? But only thing is we need to understand how they are going to facilitate us. Let me read it for you. So I had given ChatGPT 3.5 a query. Pinni kive bandi hai? Okay? It's Chat 3.5. It says, Pinni ek Punjabi pakwan hai jo saag, makki di roti ate makki di dal naal tayar kiti jandi hai. Can you imagine? Then the people say, yaar, AI ko kya ho gaya hai? Now I'll read it for you what ChatGPT 4 said. Okay? Now you see the context and what we need to do in India for this. So I teach network security, and in the first class only I tell people, you tell me what is the English of pap. Everybody sin. What is the English of pun? Sir, good deeds. Is it pun? We have not given that context. That context need to be given by us, Indians. Then only those things will come up in these chat GPTs and all kind of world. So that context is missing. And unless until the education is given in that area, so we are not going to help ourselves. I'll just read it for you. Pinni kive bandi hai chat GPT 4. Pinni एक पंजाबी मिठाई है जो खास करके सर्दियों ਵਿੱਚ ਬਣਾਈ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਸਿਹਤ ਲਈ ਬਹੁਤ ਚੰਗੀ ਮੰਨੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਪਿੰਨੀ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਦਾ ਤਰੀਕਾ ਇੱਕ ਕੱਪ ਘਿਓ ਇੱਕ ਕੱਪ ਆਟਾ ਇੱਕ ਕੱਪ ਗੁੜ far better. The reason is we have given that kind of a know-how, that kind of a computation power, that kind of a data set. Now, once we are doing it, then the country like India, the biases will come. If I have 90% people from one particular segment, I go to them and query about something, they are going to speak, I'm going to create a database, and when I am going to churn out that database, that is going to speak their language only. So those are the pain points which need to be addressed. It's not that AI is, everybody clapped when Professor said humanity. We are not against. None of the computer scientists is against this. Only thing is we are going to facilitate each one of us to have a better life. And that can only happen with the education. And that education setup, that's why we are having this kind of conversation.
Yeah. So, Dr. Iyengar, I would just build on what Dr. Maninder Singh said. Here we are talking about something which is there to facilitate. But at the same time, we are also seeing, as he mentioned, ChatGPT. I see many people just going there, okay, I need to find tags, ChatGPT, suggest tags for this, copying the tags, not using their own mind, and just putting it out there. So, the idea is to facilitate. But at times, majority is taking this as a dependency and not to use their own mind to figure out something. How do you see that dichotomy?
Okay, so here's a quick example that I'll give you from 1990s. Let's say, imagine the roads of Chandigarh, Bangalore, Mumbai in 1990. You put your hands out and then stop an auto. Okay, the auto rickshaw fellow will go a little ahead and then stop. That's basically attitude, because it's like, I'm busy. And then he'll say, kahan jana hai? And you'll say, then he'll think and say, 1.5. I mean, if it's 100, it will be 150. And then you will say, why so much? Because mujhe khali aana hai, etc., etc., etc. And finally, he will not even take you, right? If he takes you also, you're not sure whether he's going to take you there in the shortest possible route or rob you there and exploit at the end by saying that, sir, you said 175, but you're giving 125. Now, Autowala comes, stops, flashes a beautiful smile at you and says, Ajaye, give me the pin. You see the pin, you sit. Come. He will not ask you where to go. And when you're waiting also, you know when exactly he will come because you have your Uber app or Ola app, right? And after reaching, he flashes back another smile saying, sir, feedback please. Look at 1990s arrogance and 2024's extreme hospitality. What is doing this? AI. The software that they are using tells you exactly what's the shortest route. If it's the peak hour, it says 1.25 is the reasonable spiking up of the rate. Now imagine the same AI looks at your facial expression as you're using the app and then says, this person appears to be tensed and can even pay 3.5 times the fare. Exploitation.
Oh my God.
Right? So that again is an AI which keeps a check on the ethics part of the software. Now we can discuss on the Uber app which flashes a smile on the face of the customer and the autowala or carwala, or look at the possibility of using the camera technology there and look at your facial expression and look at the tensed up mood of the customer and then charge 3.5. Right? The boon and bane of a knife, the boon and bane of AI has to be discussed, but we must be aware. To be aware of all these things, upskilling, reskilling, skilling is very important. And some of the best teachers in the world are in our country. Some of the best learners also, I'm not saying statistics says this, some of the best learners in the world are in our country. There's an old Zen saying, when the student is ready, the master arrives. Here, where there are some bunch of students who are ready, I'm talking in terms of millions, the previous session, we were talking about 600 million people less than 25. They are the teachers. They are the students. There are a bunch of trained teachers. They are the trainers. Train and ensure that the Uber app does what it's supposed to do and not what it's supposed to not do. Upskilling, reskilling, and nothing like a place like our own Punjab, where, as I said, let me reiterate, so many institutes together should get together and make it a super tier state with great educational outcome. Thank you.
You are in full agreement with him?
Yes, I am in agreement with him, but I would also, since he has been giving some good examples of Punjab, even I would like to give one, right? So, see, there was a research again done, sorry I keep going back to research, in which there were two sets of people kept. One who were not given access to ChatGPT, and other group which had access to ChatGPT. And then they were given a problem, that suppose some problem related to marketing and how to improve marketing and so on. Okay. Now, both groups gave their responses, and one group used ChatGPT as much as they want. And who do you think aced it? I'll tell you. See, when A+ grading of the solutions, definitely the people who did not have ChatGPT got A+, more gradings. But where it was the average solutions, ChatGPT group won. Now, why I am saying the example of Punjab, and I would bring in here that I, in the army, have worked quite a lot in Punjab, especially in Abohar. Near Abohar, there is something known as a place called Govindgarh, and that is not Mandi Govindgarh, it is Govindgarh, where you have the canal flowing, the IG Indira Gandhi canal, which is flowing out there. And in Abohar, I was fascinated to see one thing, and that is what is known as Maruta. How many of you have heard about Maruta? Please raise your hand. One or two people out there. Okay, Maruta is nothing but, it's not anything related to Maruti, but it is doing the same function, and that it is that pump with which you draw out water is used to make a vehicle out of it, and they can tow their trailers and move around comfortably, right? And that is somebody's genius. That person, that motion which is there to draw water is being used to turn wheels. And of course, that Maruta never had, lights, or there was no requirement of any license, because this was not a vehicle recognized by the government, right? So, if ChatGPT was given that, I'm sure they would have never come up with a solution like this. In Punjab, what we have a lot of jugaad, as they say. That jugaad, I can assure you, can only come from the human mind. Right, it is not possible from elsewhere.
So I have thoroughly enjoyed the session. How about you guys? Did you enjoy it? Very good. I'm so happy, and I wish we could have a longer session, but we have more sessions coming up. So I would have to say thank you, gentlemen, for joining. So I'll hand over the mic. Just keep the questions short so that the answer can be...
So you had asked the panelists that you have acquired all your experience by the years to come, and you would like your future to acquire the same knowledge by the years to come rather than the AI. But why so? Let them have that experience by the AI or in a shorter span, and let them acquire much more to acquire in the years to come. That is what evolution is for. I think Dr. Maninder can answer this tricky question much better.
Okay, so just because you have raised a point, you have made a point about my response, so I'll tell you why. I feel that tackling a situation brings you some real knowledge. And as you come across different sort of challenges, you evolve. Because you have to deal with that particular challenge, particular situation, and sometimes you come up with the solution, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and that's what the journey of life is all about. So I was thinking more from an emotional viewpoint rather than cognitive side of our brain. So
that's perfectly fine, Aditi. Nobody is questioning that, and nobody should.
Perfectly fine. That's
right.
Yeah. Perfectly fine.
See, the thing is, like here again, I'm going to repeat what I said previously. I'll give you one example.
Yeah.
We have seen people with dementia. In what kind of a bad shape their later part of the life is. So can't we have a system? Or nobody in the crowd will say no, because again, she said we are emotional, right? So the thing is, like, can't we have a system where your near dear ones' voices are recorded and they are played on and off to this dementia person, and he's thinking they are with me, and he may come out of this kind of problem sooner than we can have those kind of things can come up.
Fair enough, sir. But then I would say, then this person should not feel that the voices that he's getting or she's getting to hear is the world, because the world is more diverse, So my point is, my line of argument is, if I may use that word, that different people experience different things, and that is what makes this world so different and so beautiful. That is the only point I'm trying to make.
No, that's perfectly fine. No argument on this. See, the thing which we are discussing here is to utilize AI for what?
To
For betterment
facilitate-
of us only.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
not for the machines.
Sure.
Okay, so we are utilizing machine knowledge to help us. And that's what is the crux of the...
So
It's-
what
it's
I'm going to
basically,
tell Jagmeet ji is...
It's basically Aditi
Yeah,
and Aditi
yeah.
with wings. Which one do you want? Aditi and Aditi with wings. Aditi on steroids versus Aditi. You have the option of not using your wings, but given one, will I say, I don't want aeroplanes, I want to walk. I've been walking all this while. That's the difference. So 3.5 to 4.
And wing and the aeroplane and Aditi with wings cannot be compared, no?
No, 3.5, 4 is that. If
Yeah.
3.5 to 4 can
So this is an
pin the
interesting
penny,
conversation. I'm sure there would be people who would be on your side. There would be people who would be on my side. By the way, how many people are on my side? Can you please raise your hands? So, oh yeah, wow. So the debate is over. Thank you so much. And a huge round of applause. And I wish we could just carry on. But I'm afraid we don't have time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much all for the valuable insight. I request everyone to please stay on stage. Now I would like to invite Mr. Jagmeet Jammu, Regional Head, News 18 Punjab Haryana, JKLH, to please come on stage and felicitate our honorable guests. First we have Dr. Maninder Singh, Dean of Academic Affairs and Professor Computer, Thapa University. Thank you so much, sir. Next we have Dr. Sudarshan Iyengar, HOD Computer Science and Engineering, IIT Open. Thank you so much, sir. Then we have Colonel Rajiv Bhargava, Senior Associate Director, Indian School of Business. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everyone. Let's move on to the third session, where we'll discuss critical skills needed in the 21st century. Can we have the AV, please?
21st सेंचुरी की तेज रफ्तार और कंपेटिटिव इकोनॉमी का मौजूदा दौर सर्वाइवल ऑफ फिटेस्ट के साथ ही जैक ऑफ ऑल ट्रेड्स का भी है। करियर में आगे बढ़ने के लिए अब किसी एक स्किल में स्पेशलाइजेशन काफी नहीं है, बल्कि क्रिटिकल स्किल्स में महारत रखना या मल्टी टैलेंटेड होना जरूरी है। ऐसे में भविष्य के मद्देनजर उन स्किल्स की डिमांड को जानने और समझने के साथ ही करंट जनरेशन को तैयार करना बेहद जरूरी हो जाता है।
To have a discussion on this topic, I would like to request my colleague Aditi Tyagi to please come on stage. Now I request my panelists to please come on stage. First we have Dr. Sunil Reddy Kundru, Assistant Professor, IT and Computational Systems and Chairperson, Information and Instructional Technology, IIM Amritsar. Welcome, sir. Then we have Professor R.S. Bawa, Advisor to Honorable Chancellor, Chandigarh University. Welcome, sir. Then we have Dr. Anupam Sophi, Assistant Professor, Lakshya University. Welcome, sir. A huge round of applause for our honorable guests. Over to you, Aditi.
Thank you, Saurabh. And this time I'll try to play T20 and then I'll try to keep the pace and I will not make you wait. That's the promise we have from my side. So guys, just to get you going, huge round of applause for everyone over here, for yourself as well. And I really appreciate your support because that is what makes it interesting. Thank you. So here we are going to talk about the critical skills that are needed in the 21st century, sir. This time I will not start with any sort of assumptions. I would rather give you the floor and ask you what sort of critical skills you feel are central to success, are going to be really critical.
Right. So my answer will be assuming that we are discussing this because of arrival of generative AI. And
Absolutely.
so in that context, what people are talking about right now is what is called as collaborative intelligence,
Okay.
right? Where humans and machines have to work together in collaboration to arrive at a decision, in decision making, specifically, taking that term. So for doing collaborative intelligence, the critical skill you would require in a very contrasting way is, or in a very ironic way, is the foundational knowledge in any subject, right? So I'll give an example, like, why foundational knowledge is important when we deal with or work with machines, right? So you would remember, playing with calculators as a child in a school level. It's easy to do 4 into 4 or 3 into 5, but the moment you start doing percentages, there's an order in which you have to press the buttons, right? You press the buttons in the wrong way, you still get the answer. And unless you have foundational understanding of what a percentage is and how percentages work, you would not know whether the machine is giving you the right answer or the wrong answer, right? Many esteemed panelists before me spoke about bias in AI, right? The critical aspect in working with AI is recognizing when it is biased and when it is working for you correctly, right?
But that bias is created by the humans, right? The one who's working with
Bias
it.
is created by feeding AI wrong data, right? Or insufficient data, because we don't have all the data. When we train AI, we are training it on the past data. How, for example, let us say I'm training an AI to do loan underwriting. Should I give a customer loan or not? How am I deciding that? Based on various characteristics of the customers and people with similar characteristics in the past. Have they paid or not paid? Right? So now AI, when a new customer arrives, we give the same data to AI. Now the AI does not know the changing context. It only is basically acting on the context we gave it to while we are training it, right? So now if I know the foundational understanding of how loan underwriting works, I am in a better position to decide whether AI is biased or not. And that is what collaborative intelligence is.
Okay.
We are not completely delegating decision making to AI. Instead, we are saying, okay, you do the heavy lifting for me, right? You help me scale my operations. But when you say no, I'm going to check once again. Or when you say yes, I'm going to check once again. It depends on the cost, right? If yes is more costly, a false positive is more costly, I'll check positive outcomes. If false negative is more costly, I'll check, negative outcomes, right? So to understand this, you need to develop foundational knowledge, right from mathematics, statistics, English, everything. In every subject you're learning in school, you have to develop strong foundations to be able to work as a manager alongside AI. That's my take on this topic.
Perfect. Professor Baba, just to build on what Dr. Sunil Reddy just said, what sort of critical skills are we talking about? And how would you ensure that the ecosystem that exists support that particular skill set?
Actually, what I think is that technology is here to stay. And what is existing here is bound to change. The future is going to be different, as already discussed, AI as we are discussing. But I have a very strong feeling that all these machines and AI-based tools, they are based on the information that is fed to them. ChatGPT was being discussed. All these are LLM-based models. Whatever you feed, getting more feed will give you better results. But then the challenge for the new generation will be to find applications where LLM will not go wrong. It can guide a robot or robotics or all kind of machines. Now, machine learning is something different. To my mind, a student has to be trained to find applications in real life, not only mechanical, not only industrial, but for day-to-day life also. And I use two words normally.
we have to enable these students and empower these students. Enable these students to learn anything that they want in future, and empower these students what is available right at the moment. I also very strongly believe that when we talk about future and talk about thinking out of the box, unless we go inside the box, it's not possible to think out of the box. So, future
But
technologies,
I guess all of us are in the box because we all think like that. Majority of us think like that.
unless we know what is inside the box, how can you think about what you have to think about outside the box? Now, the student of future will have to find out how to use existing technology and come out with new technologies. What challenges are in future? Like, for example, we have been talking about cloud computing. Now we'll have to think about edge computing. Cloud computing may not be as useful as it is for distant cloud. For example, auto-driven cars. Cloud computing is not going to be useful. You come out with edge computing. You are talking about virtual reality. You are talking about augmented reality. You will have to find ways to combine these technologies. So the existing situation will have to be understood and then find ways to combine existing technologies. The new areas will keep on emerging. Nothing is going to be permanent. AI as per se, for example. AI for agriculture has a different meaning. AI for law has a different meaning. But AI as such is what you feed and how you program the machine or the system to keep on learning. But the learning will depend on how much you have fed, and learning will depend on how much you are exposing that machine to. That is what I
So, Dr. Anupam Sobti, I would just build on what Professor Baba just said. The point that he made is humans need to keep reinventing. How challenging is that? Because when we talk about technology, we are also talking about a lot of money. Where is that money going to come from? Is it going to be a sustainable model? That would be the first question that would come to at least my mind. And I'm sure many would say, from where are you going to get the money, especially what we have seen in last few years?
So I think both of you have very nicely set up the context, right? So I think...
No, you have to hold your mic closer.
So both of you have very nicely set up the context. And I think, you know, what you said about being able to translate technology into applications more and more, that is where I think the challenge or the barrier would come. So like you said, for example, where will the money come from? Can you now think of multiple dimensions together, and that interdisciplinarity can you inculcate in the students of tomorrow? So, and I feel that the barrier to that will be lower and lower because of the presence of AI. Because today, if I'm a computer scientist and I want to know more about business, I already have ChatGPT 4, which knows, you know, a decent amount of business. So I think the curiosity gap would really be amplified in the skills of the future. So
Just a second, because you have made a very important point, and I can see a lot of youngsters over here. So how many of you use ChatGPT? To be honest, I don't. So how many of you use ChatGPT? Can you please raise your hands? Because here we are talking about curiosity. Also, the curiosity factor seems to be really high over here, in this room at least. So do you really, like the point that you were making, at least the room doesn't agree to that. So the curiosity part in this room seems to be pretty high.
No, in fact, I'm saying that because curiosity here is high, now instead of people thinking about, let's say, how to solve this coding problem, might be thinking about how to make my city more livable, which is a bigger challenge, right? But they will use the creativity and the knowledge of AI to be able to cater to that as well.
So let me just do one exercise. How many people raised their hand when I asked whether you use ChatGPT? Please, can you raise your hands again? So I'm going to walk up to you and I'm going to ask you guys, what do you use it for? Please, Dr. Iyengar, I'm not going to give you the floor because you have already spoken a lot. So sir, what do you use it for? Please tell me.
Almost for everything.
As in, you ask yourself, do you ask ChatGPT where to buy bedsheet from or where to buy food from? Really?
That's not needed because that I know I have many other applications. But you can use ChatGPT for more serious things.
Like
you are looking for some research, you can find out quickly. which you can otherwise impossible to do it, in 10, 15 days.
Okay, so let me ask the youngsters over here, how many of you raised your arm? Please raise your hand. So what do you use it for? Tell me.
I even explain my picture to the AI and I get captions, poetic captions for Instagram.
Okay, so why did you ask ChatGPT? Couldn't you come up with some interesting caption for yourself, or you wanted it to go viral and you just thought that I should follow up?
Like sometimes I know thodi si shairi.
Oh wow.
Okay, so
Can you do some shairi over here right now without the help of ChatGPT? Come on, please.
I can only copy paste.
Copy paste. See, this is what is ChatGPT doing. Who else was? Yeah. So what do you use it for?
Like for the general questions जिनका आंसर नहीं मिलता कभी
जैसे कि लाइफ इतनी बेरंग क्यों है? गर्लफ्रेंड कैसे मिले?
हाँ ऐसे
पूछा है गर्लफ्रेंड कैसे मिले?
नहीं ऐसे क्वेश्चंस नहीं लाइक जैसे एजुकेशन रिलेटेड एंड शायरीज भी थोड़ी बहुत एंड
कैसी शायरी? खुशी वाली, सैड वाली, दोस्ती वाली?
थीम आप डाल दो कोई भी और शायरीज आ जाए
आप कौन सी यूज करते हो? इतना गार्डेड क्यों? जब ये बता दिया चैट जीपीटी यूज करते हो तब तो सबको पता चल ही गया।
मैं ज्यादातर सोशल लिखता हूँ तो वैसे
Okay. What do you use ChatGPT for? 1 second. I'm coming to you. Tell me.
I'm running a digital marketing company, so I use ChatGPT in many ways for SEO, for website content, taking idea from how to make a website creative and everything. ChatGPT के बाद हर चीज का
Everything बोले तो पर्सनल में भी?
सब कुछ।
पर्सनल में क्या?
आप पूछ लो, कुछ भी पूछ लो।
आपने क्या क्या पूछा? आप लोग ऐसा पहले बोलते चैट जीपीटी यूज किया है?
मैंने पूछा गर्लफ्रेंड कैसे बनाऊं, उसने बता दिया।
क्या था चैट जीपीटी का जवाब?
बता दो, उसने बोला कि आप पार्क में घूमिए, मॉल में जाइए, आप क्लब्स में जाइए, तो उसने बता दिया ना, तो वहां पे जाइए, आई कांटेक्ट कीजिए।
ओहो, ये चैट जीपीटी ने बताया?
करिए सर।
आपने किया इसको? आप कर चुके हैं ये?
बिल्कुल कर चुका हूं।
दिस इज हाउ चैट जीपीटी इज बीइंग टेकन सीरियसली। आई एम क्वाइट अमेज्ड। या, यू आल्सो यूज चैट जीपीटी फॉर व्हाट?
For content creation.
Okay, just for content creation or to make ma'am happy as well?
Yeah, sometimes.
So what do you ask ChatGPT?
How to, what kind of gift I should give to my wife.
So what was the response?
N number of responses.
Yeah, so what did you follow ChatGPT?
Yeah.
Did you take that advice seriously?
Yeah, sometimes. No.
Was she happy post that?
Yeah.
He just take advice, he never implements them.
You are lying. You are lying. You are not following ChatGPT and it will be... you are not following ChatGPT and it is going to be very, very annoyed with you, sir. You can't just use it for your advantage. So, sir, I did this survey so that we know where we actually stand. So, are you surprised by the response?
Not really. Actually, see, I'll go back to my,
I really liked how to make a girlfriend.
Yeah, see, that's all interesting answers, but I'll point out to the marketing, the entrepreneur there. See, he understands he has some foundational understanding about what it can actually do, right? And he is actually putting it to the best use. Of course, he also uses it for his personal questions and answers, but no, that's what I mean when I say foundational understanding. You should know what SEO is first. And then you go to ChatGPT and ask the right question. We call this prompt engineering, right? So unless you understand the problem fundamentally, you can't create a good prompt. Right? Even if you want to ask, what is the...
मेरा सवाल आपसे ये है, क्योंकि वो जवाब जो मिला गर्लफ्रेंड वाला, वो मैं ये actually I'm asking you these questions because somebody who's watching you sitting at home, they should also understand what technology is doing and how technology is being fed with all this information. What's getting into this?
Even in that, if you want to know what kind of gift you want to give your girlfriend, it's important to know the right prompt, right? How do you really work with the computer and ask it the right question?
So what would be the right prompt?
So I think the person has to give more context to it. See, I'm certain age and, I come from certain culture. My girlfriend has this kind of taste. Now I have only one more day to buy a gift. I really have not thought about it through. Why don't you help me? You'll be amazed at how good ChatGPT will respond if you give it the right context. Right? So if you ask simply what is the best gift to give my girlfriend, you can as well put it to Google. Google will give you better answers than ChatGPT.
Yes, sir. You want to build on it?
I'll give you an example.
Okay.
I'll give you an example. You see, whatever is fed means, for example, we ask so many questions to Google. Where from Google gets those answers? It has access to all that data. So it's basically whatever data you feel. That's why these are called LLM. These are large language models and based on information, whatever you feed. ChatGPT is based on that. For example, you ask through any machine, any AI, tell us the distance between Earth and Sun. Do you think it's going to calculate? No. It's going to find out from different sources where it is already available. It will be found by some scientist. It will be found by some other method. But AI will simply find it out. For example, a law I was talking about, it's very interesting. You know, when a case is to be prepared by an advocate, they go through thousands of files, they will have to look at that. But now AI is going to help them. They will have to feed some keywords. Now, the question is, what keywords have to be fed? Like I was saying, I was reading Scientific American recently. They tried to ask a machine, a robo as we call it, to find out certain items from the refrigerator and prepare some dish. They had to struggle for it because the information is not already available there. So you will have to give this information in fragments. First, you go to the refrigerator. Then you search for this item. Then you do this to this. For example, if you don't say, cut it or peel it or whatever, it will not be able to do. So the point that I'm making is ChatGPT, those of you who are very keen to use, and I'm sure experts are sitting here, I'm not an expert in that area, let's not use it in raw form. It can put you in a lot of trouble. Because it depends on what kind of keywords you are putting and what kind of information that particular tool is going to generate. And sometimes it can go awfully wrong. And like, you know, in 3 Idiots, it can put you in a lot of trouble. So that's my say. And you know, I believe that we should not overemphasize on any kind of technology.
Absolutely.
Technology is deepening in our education system. It's welcome. But let's not become slaves to technology.
That was precisely
technology
the point
has to be our slave.
Yeah.
I should use technology judiciously. Students should be made to use judiciously. Otherwise, what is happening is that the original thinking will stop coming up. Now, what I will do is you give an assignment. Why do we give assignments to the child? Why do we want them to write different?
Because you want to stimulate the thinking process.
Original thinking.
Exactly.
So if they will use AI, they will ask, okay, like you were saying, write some codes, write some software. If it is to be written by a machine.
If they aren't going to use the brain, it is going to be an answer which would be uniform and hundreds of kids are going to come up with the same answer.
Absolutely.
So that's where the issue is. Dr. Sopti, so now you have seen how ChatGPT has been helping people or not helping people, not delivering what people are looking for. So the key word here is to know and feed the right information to get maximum out of technology. And that is probably the critical skill that one needs. Though, coming to the point about the girlfriend, I would strongly recommend that go by emotions, don't go by ChatGPT. We women are pretty complex. So if you know us, you know how we behave in different situations, you know what we like, what we don't like. So don't go by ChatGPT because it might suggest to you something that we don't like and it is going to backfire big time for you. So please don't use it for emotional stuff. Yeah, please.
Yeah, but you know, thank you for doing that survey. And I'm very happy to note that many people have been using it in a direction, you know, which Professor Sudarshan was also saying, to give you wings. And I mean, somebody who is a digital marketing expert can now dive into SEO, for which they maybe had to hire a professional who was very costly, you know, in the past. And some people are also thinking about you know, doing it for many more things. And by the way, so there is slight trivialization of ChatGPT as well. So it not only looks at the information that is already available, AI now has also invented new molecules. It has also invented new materials that were never seen before, right? So AI, I think, is going to be a force which is going to be helping us in many ways, but we need to set our critical thinking and we need to set our value systems appropriately. For example, if you think the most important thing in your life right now is a girlfriend, then probably the value system
There's nothing wrong with that. There is a stage in life when you really want to get into a relationship. So nothing.
One small thing I want to say, and I will not speak after that.
Sure, sir.
You see, use technology to find solutions, but verifiable solutions. I tell you what the technology is going to create problems, AI
sir,
like
basically you are
technologies,
saying
is
ChatGPT
that the
cannot
solution
get
will not
you-
be verifiable. Once, they should also, the technology should help you verify the solution, that whether it is correct or it is wrong.
So
To
basically
what
you are
extent?
saying that ChatGPT cannot get you a long-term girlfriend. For that you need to invest your emotions and your hard work. Please, Dr. Sopti, you wanted to, like I interrupted you, so you can finish.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think long-term solutions
Ji.
and making sure that we are using AI responsibly, technology responsibly. As you know, Professor Sudarshan was also saying, you can use Uber to make that fare 3.5x, but you can also make it to make life easy for so many people. So I think if we encode things in the right way, it's going to be a power that's going to take us a long way.
Also have a question, just on a very serious side. Now that we are talking about technology, we get to hear about suicides and the number is just going up. Why can't we use technology to give people empathy? Like initially I believe that emotions and technology, they don't go together, but when it is about data and it is about putting the information in, then why not use it for social cause? Yeah, so Dr. Sopti, and then I'll give you the floor. Yeah.
There is a bigger question.
Yeah.
There is a bigger question. The bigger question is the modern technology inclusive? Are you able to make technology available to everyone in our great country, in our diverse country? That's a bigger question. Empathy will come automatically. But the question is, technology is not being made available to all sections of the society.
Sir,
Even
I
young
completely
students
agree
all
with you.
around the country.
Until unless it is available to everyone, how you are going to incorporate it in your day-to-day life. But if there is an option available, and especially about this trend of growing number of suicides, and especially among young people, students, you get to read a lot of such cases where people just give up. How about using technology? And have there been trends or practices in the past to address that particular problem? Because here we are talking about edutech. And then when you are talking about education, you are talking about a certain age group as well.
No, I think these are exactly the kind of questions that AI will help faster answers to. I mean, AI will enable us to get faster answers to. So, for example, in India, the mental health counseling situation is quite dire, not just because there is no awareness, but also because there are no numbers, right? So, if possibly you could get the top mental health researcher or the top mental health counselor to be replicated in thousands using an AI, it may not be as good as the original counselor, but it could still help a lot of people, right? So, I think AI is going to be that multiplicative force that's going to solve a lot of these problems. Also because, you know, today a 12th class student could be asking this question and actually come up with a solution, because they will have wings in terms of technology. They will have wings in terms of, you know, the kind of knowledge that we've already produced as a generation.
Sure. Dr. Reddy. Yeah.
No, I think I have a similar take on the same question. See, I don't think AI can do anything which we can't do. If we are not able to stop or reduce the suicide rate, we can't train AI to do the same. What AI does is what we do, it does the same, but at a very high scale, right? So since, first of all, we have to figure out, let me give you a very interesting snippet. The first chatbot created, it was created in 1960s. It's called Eliza. It is actually a counselor, right? It's it kind of allows you to get into a session with a psychologist, right? A psychiatrist or whatever we call them. So people have attempted at this, and people realize that unless we really have knowledge on the core subject, like how we can counsel somebody to, you know, overcome their thoughts of, you know, suicidal tendencies, we can't train AI to do that. And as you rightly said, it's a very interesting thing. You said, why can't we train empathy to AI? People are trying, right? People are trying to, you know, figure out semantics through kind of, you know, large language modeling and train the machines to feel, or at least, you know, take a tone which emulates a feeling, right? So that may be the first step, and then maybe slowly we will. It can't empathize, but it can emulate human empathy.
Can machines be drilled with emotions? Dr. Younger, if I may ask you, just a second. Yeah. Because it is about emotions, you know, so.
Definitely yes, to a very large extent. A quick example is when I got married, as everyone does, we fought a lot, me and my wife, and that continued till date. We tried everything, including taking deep breaths and then calming oneself. We both are short-tempered, as simple as that, like any other couple who gets married newly. But then, what we recently did was we sat in front of ChatGPT. I typed, she typed. I typed, she typed. I fought with ChatGPT saying this. No, this is the problem, and this is our argument. This is my argument. Who is right? And ChatGPT asks for the next step. Give me more information. What's your personality type? Why wouldn't you put the same thing politely? Was the answer there? And then that's absolutely right. Same thing told politely probably would not lead to a fight. Now, my emotion, my wife's emotion charged up, because we all are hormonal, right? ChatGPT was completely emotionless and hence had the emotion to instruct us to be polite.
Sometimes being emotionless is also another emotion. Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
I wanted to tell you my experience on Basant Panchami. My sister told that she wanted a very unique greeting card because it's not everything is going so much on the WhatsApp. Then I said, okay, let me try on AI.
So you told her, आपने कहा मैं बनाता हूँ.
मैं बनाता हूँ, ठीक है? तो मैंने नहीं बनाता हूँ. See, this is what I made. I show you, ठीक है? I just gave a command कि the people praying to goddess Saraswati, colors should be green and yellow, ठीक है? Then there should be kites flying of different colors, ठीक है? Okay, it came up. I sent her. She said कि make the yellow colors slightly less, ठीक है? And the green also soften there. I gave the second command, and see a wonderful card came, and it was liked by everyone on the groups, and it became a viral on everyone. It's such a unique thing. See, this is how I express my emotions, sentiments, people praying to goddess Saraswati, and see the kites flying, prosperity, and the soft sunlight. See that this is what has come up. This is how we express our emotions and sentiments.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. It's a beautiful card, and I must say that AI has done a fantastic job. Thank you so much, sir, for giving your insights for this interesting discussion, and thank you to all of you for being so honest and truthful about your personal life. I really appreciate that. Huge round of applause for yourself, for no one else but yourself. Thank you so much. I really like this honesty. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Please stay on stage. Now I would request Jagmeet Jakhman to please come on stage to felicitate our guests. First, we have Dr. Sunil Reddy Kundru, Assistant Professor, IT and Computational Systems and Chairperson, Information and Instructional Technology, IIM Amritsar. Thank you so much, sir. Then we have Professor R.S. Baba, Advisor to Honorable Chancellor, Chandigarh University. Then we have Dr. Anupam Sobti, Assistant Professor, Kalaksha University. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everyone.
So, Sarah, tell me something. I just got to know that you also have your AI.
Yes.
Do you?
Yes.
So, are you happy about it? No. See, that was the point I was also making. But why aren't you happy? Can she really copy you? No? So what are the issues with it that you feel that makes you unique?
I have my different hobbies, so
You will have to use this.
So I don't want anyone to copy me.
So you want to remain unique, but as a gentleman who have had discussions with us, they have been saying that the whole idea of AI is to facilitate. So for example, some days you don't want to come to work. You want to take chutti. And this AI is there and she's doing your job. How about that? You can go on a 10-day trip. You can relax. You can have quality time with your family.
You'll give me a pleasure.
Oh wow. So AI is a good thing or bad? No. So now you will start liking it more, right? If it provides you a week-long break, or if it allows you to do things that you want to do and you still remain on TV or on digital when you are not there physically.
No, I'm not a techno-savvy person at all. So I don't want anyone to copy me or...
Not even a machine?
No.
You don't want a chutti?
No, I'm comfortable.
You're comfortable?
Yes.
So how many of you want chutti? Raise your hand. You would want AI to do your job for 7 days, 8 days. How many of you? Not even Dr. Iyengar. He has been recommending it big time. Now that I have told him, he is raising his hand. Not done, boss. Not done. So all about AI. I was just having
I must
a good
say,
laugh about this.
Yes,
I can
yes.
completely understand where is this whole idea of being unique
I
coming
must say
from.
you have that art of engaging everyone. A
Oh,
pep
please.
talk.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please carry.
Let's move on to the fourth session where we'll discuss technical education, where we stand in urban and rural India. But before that, can we have the AV please?
डेवलपमेंट और मॉडर्नाइजेशन देश के अर्बन और रूरल एरियाज के बीच की खाई को कम कर रहा है। डिजिटल और स्मार्ट क्लासेस, कंप्यूटर्स, लैपटॉप्स और इंटरनेट की सुविधा के साथ अर्बन एरियाज के स्टूडेंट्स टेक्निकल एजुकेशन हासिल करने के मामले में काफी आगे हैं। वहीं दूसरी तरफ रूरल एरियाज के टीचर्स की ट्रेनिंग बहुत जरूरी है, जिससे वहां के स्टूडेंट्स को अर्बन स्टूडेंट्स की तरह टेक्निकल एजुकेशन मिल सके और इस फर्क को मिटाया जा सके।
Now I would like to request my colleague Aditi Tyagi to please come on stage. A big round of applause for my colleague Aditi Tyagi. Now I would like to request...
सर मेरी तारीफ में आप लोग ताली नहीं बजाएंगे ना, मैं भी आप लोगों को एंटरटेन करना बंद कर दूँ। मजा नहीं आ रहा, इतनी तालियों में काम नहीं चलता, मैं आपसे ज्यादा तेज बोल रही हूँ। प्लीज। Thank you so much.
Now I would request my panelists to please come on stage. First we have Dr. Pushpendra P. Singh, Dean Research, IIT Ropar. Welcome, sir. Then we have Professor Abhishek Tripathi, Pro Vice Chancellor, CT University. Welcome, sir. Then we have Dr. V.K. Ratan, Vice Chancellor, GN University. Welcome, sir. Over to you, Aditi.
Thank you, Saurabh. There cannot be anyone like you, Saurabh, so don't worry. So, technical education, where we stand in urban and rural India, I think more or less we know the answer, right? Do you think rural and urban are at par? Those who feel yes, just raise your hand. Are you guys listening? सुन रहे हो आप लोग? तो rural और urban, they are not at par. How many think they are not at par? जो हाथ नहीं उठा रहे, मैं मान लूंगी कि उनको लगता है कि दे आर एट पार, तो डिसाइड कर लो जल्दी से, आप लोग के पास 10 सेकेंड्स है, क्विकली. दिस इज दे आर नॉट एट पार. नो, दे आर सेइंग दे आर नॉट एट पार. दे आर सेइंग दे आर नॉट एट पार. सो आई थिंक वी ऑलरेडी हैव द आंसर, and I would like you to build on this. And if you recall my first session, that was precisely my point. In a country where, for example, if I am traveling from Delhi to Chandigarh, there would be certain pockets where my phone would not have the signals and I would not have access to certain information. So I'm sure what we are seeing in this room actually is a reality that exists on the ground. Isn't it, sir?
So your question is the one.
Whether they are at par. They said they are not at par. So do you agree with them, or do you feel it would be a sweeping generalization if we say so?
See, first of all, we have to understand what we mean by education.
Yeah.
Rural India and urban India definitely is not par. If you look at the number of institutions rural India hosts. But if you talk about education, education is not a problem. Why education is not a problem?
No, but we are talking about technical education.
I'm talking about technical education only. So be it anything, technical education or any other education. Education is education. Now, you have partially answered the question that you have actually asked us. If you look at today, the 75% of India's population having 4G mobile phones. The amount of knowledge that is available on your mobile phone, if a WhatsApp message can reach to the remote of the village in this country, knowledge can also reach, education can also reach. The only point, the question is that this education is properly framed, and then comes, we are talking about technical education, then comes the immersion programs, that some hand-on experience is needed. Knowledge they can get, enough knowledge they can get. When we talk about hand-on, of course they can come to the cities for very short time and they can have the hand-on education. So education is, you have to understand, and then if you look at by 2030, we will have 6G everywhere. And the speed and the connectivity that you were talking, 6G.
6G. Okay.
So the speed you are talking, and the connectivity you are talking, for example, at highways earlier, this connectivity was not there, but now it's beautifully there everywhere. If you look at Punjab state, so to say, we have LoRa antennas everywhere in Punjab. You can get any kind of knowledge anywhere you want. The only point that we have to ask ourselves, are we ready to acquire this knowledge?
Through an instrument.
Through an instrument, knowledge is there. We are actually acquiring the knowledge from that instrument, but probably not acquiring the right kind of knowledge which we are seeking, which we are looking for. WhatsApp messages or the videos, anything we are talking about, this thing become viral. Why cannot equal to MC square explanation become viral in the rural area? It can also become viral. If I'm ready to explain equal to MC square or UT equal to half ZD square, of course they will understand. But unfortunately, one thing that is happening in our country is that we, educationists, are not ready to impart that education that India need today, rural India need today, to the rural India. We should come out from our comfort zone and give that explanation on those WhatsApp, YouTube, Shorts, whatever it is, so that it can reach to the masses.
But we already see so many educationists on these digital platforms, don't we?
Not enough. You see the number that we have in our country. And then you see a lot of educationists. I give you an example, quickly. We have NPTEL, we have SWAYAM portal, we have a lot of these portals where you can learn. But if you go, I don't want to criticize here the very same thing that we have created, but if you go there, you will probably not listen lecture for more than 5 minutes. In Sudarshan's lecture himself, you were talking Sudarshan, he is here. This semester, 69,000 students are registered in his lecture. And this is the record in the country. This is the first course in our country which has largest number of students. Why? The question is why he has 69,000 students on his course in the country and not other professors. Because he invested 1 full year of creating this course, doing nothing but the course. And the course is designed in such a way that you feel great about it. For example, you go to the stadium to watch a cricket match, right? Do you enjoy in the same fashion the way you enjoy on TV? Forget about the chips and popcorns that you have in the stadium.
No, but both experiences are pretty different.
Actually, yes.
For example, I'll answer. By the way, my first specialization was sports. So I have seen India lifting World T20 2007, World Cup 2011, Champions Trophy in England in 2013, then Virat Kohli winning under-19 World Cup. So I've seen quite a bit of history. And I can tell you, my friends, my family, they have seen the same moments on TV.
Absolutely.
But my experience is very different, and I would say I was part of history, because not just that I was physically present over there, but I was witness to the emotion there.
Agreed.
The energy there.
Absolutely agree.
The ups and the downs of a cricket match.
Yes.
You experience it firsthand when you're sitting in that stadium, and that too you are sharing with thousands of people.
Very true. Very true. But we are not talking about the emotions here. We are talking about what was the velocity of the ball when it hit the bat. You as an audience, when you are sitting, you cannot understand that. But my TV is explaining me. What is the exact emotion of Virat Kohli when he hit the ball? You cannot notice that exact emotion because you are sitting too far. But my TV and camera is giving me that possibility that I can see that emotion. What was the angle of the ball when Virat Kohli hit the six? The angle will precisely be calculated on TV, and it will be given to me that this was 35 degree and the angle from the projection was this.
Good observation. Now let me go back to these youngsters, the people over here in this room. How many of you watch cricket and you want to know the trajectory of the ball, whether it was hitting the stumps, whether it was missing the stumps? I'm not talking about when there is a decision to be taken by the third umpire. But by the way, Jai Hind, General Dhillon, so nice to have you here. I'm just going to finish with these gentlemen and then we will have this special session. Please, huge round of applause for General Sir, please. Yeah, so coming back to the question as we are talking about cricket, just very quickly, how many of you would want to know the trajectory of the ball? Just tell me, just raise your hand. How many of you? So I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now let me ask you, would you like to watch a cricket game in a stadium? Yeah, so see?
I'll answer this. Give me a second. See, I'm also not interested in the trajectory of the ball. But if I want to write an exam, if I want to utilize this knowledge that I'm getting from the trajectory of the ball, I'm interested. Here we are not talking about the game as an emotion. Here we are talking about education for education, educating myself and then utilizing this education for creating something new. Now this is where, so the point I was trying to make, let's say if I'm explaining the projectile motion to the student of 12th class.
Yes.
If I will do on the blackboard, I'll do it differently. If I can do it beautifully on a screen, which I can repeat multiple times, show him different angles, the student can understand it better. And then what we call audio visual. See, TV become very popular as compared to newspaper. You know why? Why Aditi is so popular as compared to a person, even you look at P. Sainath, the person who used to write, how many people know P. Sainath here? Nobody. But people know Aditi because Aditi comes on a screen. So there is a challenge. So you have to bring that education. You have to bring that education on a screen beautifully so people can understand it better. And this we can do easily. We can take this education to the rural India easily. Okay. You are going rural India, they know you. Okay. They don't know me.
Okay. So Professor Tripathi, I'm just going to build on the analogy that we were using from a cricket stadium. When we talk about education, like I would not take anybody else's example, I would take my example. I want to go to the classroom. I don't want to be sitting in a room and dealing with the screen and listening to that lecture which is being delivered to me or the theories that are being explained to me. I would rather be in a group, interacting with the group as well and the teacher as well. So what sort of gap you see or the disparity you see when we talk about the urban area vis-a-vis rural area?
Right. So whenever we talk about education, I've been listening to all the discourse which has been happening over here, and we know very important part. First of all, as you said, there is no replacement of classroom. First of all, let us accept this. I'll tell you why I'm saying this. Yes, you can gain knowledge online. We do. All professors do. We go through a lot of lectures of the better ones. But at the same time, education is not just about learning any skill or learning one particular concept. It is about the experience you have. Let me tell you about a student coming to college. I, as a student, when I go to college, I go to a university. I'm not just expecting some lecturer to teach me something. I'm expecting a lot of things. My gentleman, the boy sitting over there, he was talking about girlfriend. I'm expecting that experience. Yeah. Because I'll tell you what, at one particular age, I'm not talking about the biggest problem when we grow older, like that way I am now. We stop thinking like them. We need to go to their age and try to understand what are the problems they're facing, what are the experiences. I'm not against technology. I'm 100% in technology. I believe that AI can really transform the way things are happening. But at the same time, I believe that education is not just technology. Technology can facilitate education at one point of time, but classroom experience, moving around with friends, having that informal relationship with the teacher, informal relationship with the friends, having that chai in canteen, having that experience, that is something that cannot be replaced. So, when we talk about rural and urban areas, of course, there's a gap. I was born in a village, and I studied up to 4th standard in a village. And after that, I went to urban area, and because I was good in studies, I went into a different thing and different competitive exams and all those things. But there are many of my friends who are still there. They're still struggling to get the same kind of education I got in my life. So definitely there's a gap. And I'm very positive about the technology coming in the future and doing a lot to transform the rural India and give rural India the same opportunities which urban India is having. Right. But yes, when I was listening to AI, there's nothing to get afraid of AI. But at the same time, there's nothing to be so excited about AI also. I'll tell you why. Because I'm that what youngsters call millennial, right? So I've seen 1990s, 1985, 1986, right? When computer came, I want from all my seniors, all my friends sitting over here, when computers came in 1995, aggressively in 1995 in India, everyone was scared about their job. I remember when I was in 9th standard, I went to this typing lesson, sir, in typewriter to learn typing. See, skills change. Things change. Maybe there will be newer kinds of jobs in the future which we can't even think of today. But human intelligence is going to remain same, and nobody's going to lose their job, I'm for sure. The thing is, people who were typing in typewriter before, now they're typing in computers. Maybe in future they will be making prompt. But type of profiles will change, but at the same time, everyone's job is safer. The only thing is we will need skill upgradation with the advent of technology. Rest everything will remain same, ma'am. We will remain same. Humans will remain same. They all are, even future generations, they are going to have great teachers in their life.
Oh, that is such an assurance, because for someone like me, my professors, my teachers, they have played a huge role. If I'm sitting here today and having this conversation and somebody in this room feels that I talk well, credit goes to them.
I'm really sorry. Can I?
Yeah.
I remember one of the incidents which happened a week back, because I'm a very friendly teacher to my students. So students approach me informal. So one of my students, very good student, he is excellent performer. And he was not that good for 4 days. And I can look at him in the classroom and I can see like, okay, you're not performing good. So I just called him in my cabin and I asked him, what is the problem? Is there any problem going on? He just cried. He cried and said, like, my mother is hospitalized. She is suffering from some disease. And He just cried, and after crying, I did not say anything. I did not give him any prescription, which we normally humans do. I just listened to him, and after some time, he went back to his class. You know, Mohan, this cannot be done by AI.
I fully agree with you.
This will be done by a teacher, and it will always be done by a teacher.
So now that you have shared this experience, I recall my conversation with one of my professors. His name is Dr. Rangarao. He's now in Puttaparthi. He's teaching kids who are not privileged. And he told me once, we were having a discussion about a situation, and he told me, and I'm sharing it because that is what is called human experience and wisdom, and that has kept me going. And he said, Aditi is Aditi's best friend. Aditi should not look for support outside. Aditi has to become Aditi's friend. So if any one of you going through any sort of crisis, the first person that needs to be helped by someone, that is you are going to help yourself. And please help yourself and become so strong that you become your own friend. So coming back to the discussion, technical education. So sir, what sort of challenges that exist in the rural markets? And also the behavior of a student coming from a rural background.
Yeah.
So if you hold it up and closer, your voice would be audible, sir. Just hold it up and closer. No. So I'll give you mine. That's okay. That's okay, sir. You take this.
Yeah, the discussion we have heard about your teacher, my teacher, the concept is that with AI or with the technology, in Hindi I'll say, we can have the knowledge, we can have the information, not the gyan. Gyan is given by the teacher. So the information is available on net. You put some word, you will get a lot of information. But the gyan, the real, where the teacher comes, the teacher is required. The students will bring whatever you give them the topic, they will bring the information from the net or from AI. But the gyan, the real things, you have to tell them. What your teacher have told, what... Yeah. Now coming to the rural part, there is a lot of difference in rural and urban still. We are moving ahead with technology. Technology is moving fast. Right? We are having chat GPT, industry is moving to 4.0, 5.0 again, industry is coming. But in rural, if we go, we get the technology, they get the message, but we don't, still we are lacking the infrastructure, the availability and the institutions where they can get the good teachers, good infra. The rural students, they don't know what are the new fields, where to go. Even in rural India, if you see, we have the villages where the gender inequality is still there. The girls are not allowed to go to schools. Even to schools or to colleges, they are confined that you don't have to study. So they are not going for technical education. You see, the technical education, the infrastructure is good. The school may be there, but the facilities, we have lot of institutes. I have once also given, earlier also I have given a suggestion that we have so many institutes. Maybe I'll not name any of the university, but we have very good institutes where the technical facilities are available and they are underutilized. Why don't we combine them? Let the students from the rural are trained. They are given even the awareness that this is how the technology is moving. You may be having in the government setup, a lot of money is spent by the country and to facilitate, give the facilities. But they are lying. I have been to Punjab, I have been in Punjab University, I have seen many of the equipments. The students are not allowed to work. The rural students, they don't know even that if I have to go there, if I have to, how to work, let us say in energy, solar energy is the power which is required in the rural area. But they don't have so much knowledge. And if they have knowledge, they don't have facility. If they go to some place, they are not allowed to work. So this type of, the difference between rural and urban, we have to minimize so that we have to expand the technology. The technology is there. I am not saying the technology is there. We are moving ahead, but we have to take it to the masses. How many people know, how many people are using the technology? We have to take it to the masses, and whatever we have to spread it, and we have to take to the masses to make all the people know that we can, and then they have to think. You see, when we take to the masses, the ideas will come, and those ideas will bring more changes in the technologies.
Now that you're making this point, General Dhillon is here, and they have done a fantastic job actually in far-flung areas. And I would rather like to include him in this discussion. I know he's our special guest, but sir, this is a session where I would like you to be part of it. The sort of work that Army has done in terms of technical education, and especially in, I would not call Jammu Kashmir anymore a conflict zone, but the world sees it from that lens. Army has been fantastic over there, despite all sorts of challenges being present over there.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah, I'll hold it.
No problem. Thank you, ma'am. Actually speaking, I was listening to it very, very carefully and very intensely. There is an education and there's something called qualification. I am qualified as PhD, but I may not be educated even beyond 10th. Education comes from your peers, from your professors, from your teachers, from your everything. When you're traveling in a bus, you are getting educated. How to deal with the person who is pushing you on the seat. So there is a wholesome thing. In the Army, we have a structured training, we have unstructured training, we have on-the-job training. But the best education comes from the Jawans and the JSOs who have the experience of 30 years, 35 years. Now talking about how Army is doing it, Army of course is doing great in AI and technical education in a structured manner. But in a non-structured manner or in a rural areas, we are helping the rural schools, even the government schools, the private schools, even the nomads who are on the line of control. We conduct classes for the children because there are no schools in those areas. So that may be a social service, that may be a corporate social responsibility, you call it by any name. But yes, and it has to be a mix of both. It can't be this or that. You need to have classroom education, you need to have AI-based, that audio-visual thing we are talking about, and we need to combine both. And then the product will be probably the best. Thank you.
Yeah. So why did I bring in General Dhillon? Because I went to this Tangdha sector, and it is really fascinating. And I would like to share this story. So you can see POK from this side, and there is zero line. So you can actually stand on the zero line, but you can't cross it because then you will be in Pakistan and you will never return. Until and unless Indian Army and Indian diplomats try their best and they somehow manage to convince them, persuade them. We have done that in the past, but one should never try that. And I was not adventurous enough. So Indian Army has been doing a fantastic job over there because it is very difficult for any government to get over there. But the Army, which is present over there, and the officer who's there, they have been contributing a lot to the society, and they have been contributing to the technical education that we are discussing. And as Sir said, it just cannot be, so Sir said education and qualification. I would say schooling and education. So anyone can get schooling, but the goal should be the education. So how to ensure that it is education, not just qualification or for that matter schooling?
That can be, ma'am, Sir is actually talking about the skill part of education.
Yeah.
Right, and let me tell you this one, very, very important now. If we make everything, rather than working on skills or making skill as qualification, if we just keep on making qualifications as qualification for anything, I'm saying, right? Like, for example, anyone doing MSc Mass Comm can become anchor. Let me just give this example. Now we will have bad anchors then.
Sorry?
We'll have bad anchors then.
So it is an interesting observation. So I'm a journalist without a degree. My degree is Masters in English. So I have done BA Honours English from Sri Venkateshwara College. I have done Masters in English from Sri Venkateshwara College. I have done I have a management degree in sports administration from one of the top European university, that is EPFL. So my degree is not in mass communications. I have learned whatever I have learned on the field.
So I got validation, right? So that is really great. Now, handling an institution, I come across a lot of issues. I'll tell you what, some of the issues which are very much related to what topic we are talking about, right? It is not necessary that all PhDs are good teachers. Let me be very straight on this. It is not necessary that all researchers are very good teachers. It is not necessary that all teachers are good researchers. It is not necessary that all teachers should be qualified. It is not necessary that all researchers are qualified. Let me be very ruthless on this, because biggest mistake we are doing is we have always been giving a lot of priority to the paper certificates rather than the skills. And that is the biggest mistake we have been doing. And that is to be constructed even in rural and urban areas, both. I'll tell you what, previously, if you talk about someone, let me tell you, pen and paper examination was never part of Indian culture. If someone has to win that bow and arrow wala, Arjun wala award, someone has to win, then Arjun has to defeat Dronacharya or has to come somewhere near Dronacharya. We came up with this pen and paper type of examination only because we wanted to be like someone. If I want to become an anchor, I'll have to speak like someone, and I'll have to learn from you what are the skills you need to be so entertaining, to be so always alive, that kind of skills I need. I may or may not have that qualification. The biggest problem we are facing here is the norms we have. I'll be very strict on this, because we'll have to comply with certain norms.
Sure.
As an institution, as higher institution, educational institutions, we have to comply with certain norms. And we do all our means, all people sitting over here will agree. We try everything to comply with those norms. But are we really doing justice to our students? That is the first question I need to ask to each and every person sitting over here. Even after my class of financial management, if someone is going and watching, or let me say, he didn't understand my concept. I'm a big researcher. I've learned everything. I've done a lot of research on IMF, WTO, blah, 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 everything. But I'm not able to explain break-even point to my student. Do you think, are we doing justice? That is the question. So teaching is a skill. It has nothing to do with your qualification. Let me give you a lot of examples of great teachers. Anand Kumar sir is here. Let me quote. He's not PhD. He has been awarded PhD by some university now. We've got Khan sir now.
Yeah.
I love his teaching style. So a lot of teachers are there who may or may not be qualified. But at the same time, I'm not saying qualified teachers are not good teachers. I've seen a lot of great qualified teachers who are PhDs, who have done DLIT, they've gone to US, they've learned, they've done research, and they're absolutely great teachers. I'm student of I.M. Pandey sir. He's absolutely great teacher and a great researcher. Everyone knows I.M. Pandey sir by name. So there is difference between skill and a real qualification you have. And that is an irony in our country. I don't know how to come up with this, and it will take a lot of time. But that is what the fact is.
So the very fact that we are talking about technology, yet we are talking about the teacher, and teacher is addressed as guru in our sanskar and parampara. It explains the whole debate. I think it settles the debate if you believe there is any debate between technology and a teacher. So on this note, I would like to conclude this session. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining this and sharing your insights. Thank you.
Thank you so much, all. Please stay on stage. Now I would like to invite Mr. Jagmeet Jammu, Regional Head, News18 Punjab Haryana, JKLH, to please come on stage and illustrate our honorable guests. First we have Dr. Pushpendra P. Singh, Dean Research, IIT Bhopal. Thank you so much, sir. A huge round of applause for our honorable guests. I can see that. Next we have Professor Abhishek Tripathi, Professor Vice Chancellor, CT University. Thank you so much, sir. Then we have Dr. V.K. Ratan, Vice Chancellor, GNA University. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everyone. Challenges and obstacles, the power of persuasion and inspiration cannot be underestimated. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's with great honor and privilege that we welcome Lieutenant General Kanwaljit Singh Dhillon, a distinguished veteran of the Indian Army, to the stage with a career spanning nearly 4 decades. Lieutenant General Dhillon's remarkable journey is marked by unwavering dedication and exemplary service to the nation. From commanding the challenging Chinar Corps during pivotal moments in Kashmir to spearheading peace initiatives that brought young Kashmiri boys back into the national mainstream, his leadership has left an indelible mark. As chairperson of Board of Governors at IIT Mandi and respected author, his insights into leadership and resilience are invaluable. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Lieutenant General Kanwaljit Singh Dhillon. Welcome, sir. I would request my colleague Aditi to please come on stage.
Thank you so much.
Sir, please.
So he's our special guest, and he's so special that we haven't kept any theme, because we wanted to take everything from him, because if it is coming from him, it is going to be special. So please welcome with a huge round of applause. Please, is baar kanjoosi nahi. Everyone should put up their maximum.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. So I'll start with just one line. Kitne gazi aaye, kitne gazi gaye.
Thank you, ma'am. Kitne gazi aaye, kitne gazi gaye. Should I tell the story?
Yes.
Kitne gazi aaye, kitne gazi gaye is a statement. It's also the title of my book. And this statement came 4 days after Pulwama IED blast. Pulwama IED blast happened on 14th of February 2019. I had taken over as Corps Commander of Kashmir Corps or 15 Corps or Chinar Corps, as may you call. Just for the information of those who may not be aware, 15 Corps looks after the complete line of control, which is touching Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, operations inside Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, operations on the line of control, counter-infiltrations, and all the operations of counter-terrorism operations within the Kashmir Valley. So I was head of the military or army component of this complete thing as 15 Corps Commander. And I had taken over as Corps Commander on 10th of February 2019. 14th February, Pulwama happened. And this was my, I think, 7th or 8th tenure in Kashmir. First one being in 1988. And thereafter, practically in every rank, I had a tenure in Kashmir. So, kitne gazi aaye, kitne gazi gaye, this Pulwama IED blast, that carbon IED blast, suicide blast, was carried out by a Pakistani terrorist organization called Jaish-e-Mohammed. And the module, head of that Jaish-e-Mohammed module, which carried it out, was a Pakistani terrorist called Kamran. His real name was Kamran, but he went with a code name Ghazi. Ghazi is a very preferred code name for Pakistani terrorists. And in my earlier tenure, we had eliminated many Ghazis. So that is the background.
सर सॉरी माफी के साथ आपकी इजाजत से मैं आपसे ये कह रही हूँ, स्टोरी जरा एक पंजाबी अपने स्टाइल में सुनाए ना तो और मजा आएगा. क्या भाई सही बात है ना?
Okay.
Are you in agreement with me? Huh?
Okay, I'll go mix. So on 14th February this happened, and within 100 hours we eliminated this module which had carried out Pulwama. And for those 100 hours, the local media was abuzz with Ghazi has carried out car blast, Ghazi has carried out this Pulwama IED blast, Ghazi ne Hindustan pe hamla kiya. Some channels were even playing this. And Pakistani trolls were trolling Indians. Pakistani trolls were trolling India by the famous Hindi movie dialogue, "How is the Josh?" They were saying, "How is the Jash?" Meaning Jaish-e-Muhammad. So we brought back the Jash back to "How is the Josh?" within 100 hours, the team security forces. And since there was so much talk about this Ghazi character for the last 3 days, so there was a press conference after we eliminated this module. So a local journalist asked me a question. "Sir, is Ghazi dead?" I didn't want to give much credence to this idiot. So I said, "Kitne Ghazi aaye, kitne Ghazi gaye? Parwah nahi. We are there. Don't worry." So later on, an officer posted in Islamabad embassy in Pakistan, Indian Army officer, some ISI chap told him that Jalsa was referring to Muhammad Ghazni. I said, "Wo bhi theek hai." So kitne Ghazi aaye, kitne Ghazi gaye became famous after that. And rest, as they say, is history.
And rest is history, as we all saw. So from 14th February 2019 to 5th August 2019, India has completely turned the tables.
Yes, ma'am. I was a co-commander when Pulwama happened. I was a co-commander when Balakot strikes took place. And I was also the corps commander when 370 was abrogated. So just...
सर कहते हैं कि हिस्ट्री भी चुनती है. हिस्ट्री ने आपको चुना. And this is so special. Like the key moments, you were present there. They were not happy moments, but they were proud moments also. So it's a mixed bag. But you have seen history being created. You were part of history writing at that point in time.
Ma'am, I think you said the word history 4 or 5 times, so I must tell you something which happened. Article 370 got abrogated on 5th of August 2019. On 26th of June 2019, about 40 days prior to Article 317 getting abrogated, Home Minister Mr. Amit Shah was visiting Kashmir, rather Jammu and Kashmir. So 26th of June, we had 3-4 meetings with him throughout the day, where the governor was there, DGP was there, I was there as co-commander, CRPF, intelligence agency, civil administration, chief secretary and all that. And anyway, the last meeting finished around 11:30 in the night. So there was an officer whose birthday was there, so he had invited me over for dinner. I couldn't go for dinner because of the meeting, so I went to his house, had a piece of cake, wished him birthday, and came back to my room at about 1 in the night. So 2 o'clock in the night, intervening night of 26th June and 27th June, I get a call. Sir, kal subah 7 baje breakfast ke upar Home Minister sahab ke sath meeting hai. So I said it's a continuation of the whole thing. Anyway, theek hai, aa jayenge. 3 o'clock I get another message, sir, what would you like to have for breakfast? Home Minister is asking. I said, jo sab log khayenge wo hum bhi kha lenge, usme kya hai? He said, no sir, it's not a sab log, it's a one-on-one meeting. And this is on 27th June. And then a bell rang. Anyway, I went there. Of course, there were so many things on the table. There was dhokla, there was prathas. But on the more serious note, the thing on the table was, if we do something, then what? And the meeting continued for about 45 minutes. And I written about this in my book in detail. A lot of things got discussed. What can Pakistan do? What can internally happen? What can be the level of violence which can go up? How can the internal situation deteriorate to what level? How will we control? What are our contingency plans and all those things? So, ma'am was talking about the history. So, in the end, he very straightforwardly asked me, Jal Sahab, tell me yes or no. I said, sir, agar इतिहास लिखना है तो किसी को तो इतिहास बनाना पड़ेगा. And this dialogue of mine even got picked up for this movie, Article 370. And they even given some credits to me. I have not seen the movie, but. So then he asked, "Jimmewari kiski hai?" So I said, sir, nothing will go wrong. And we'll make sure nothing goes wrong. And a lot of other things got discussed. But from 27th of June 2019 till 5th of August 2019, we had to prepare for it. And we had to keep it a secret. Not a single person in the army uniform other than me, not even my second in command, knew what's coming. But we were all preparing for it. I always say only 2.5 people in Kashmir knew what's going to happen. And all the discussions happened in the Corps Commander's drawing room, that is my house, and in my drawing room. And these 2.5 people used to leave their documents there only because that was the safest place in Kashmir. Corps Commander 15 Corps' house. So on 5th of August 2019, when this was to happen, now if Pakistan was looking at Corps Commander 15 Corps, ki kya kar raha hai, kya hone wala hai, kya nahi hone wala, what do you expect I would be doing? I would be attending a lot of meetings, I would be visiting a lot of places, giving a lot of directions to my command, कि ऐसे करना है, ऐसे करना है, ये हो गया तो वो करना है. No. What I was doing was having a cup of tea with Mahendra Singh Dhoni in my office.
Mahendra Singh Dhoni?
Yeah. And
Really?
Mahendra Singh...
Please tell us about this story. This is so interesting. By the way, sir, I can see striking similarity.
On 5th of
He's
August...
also a finisher and you are also a finisher. He also throws caution to the wind and same applies to you also, sir.
And that evening, Mahendra Singh Dhoni was having dinner with me at my home. As a host, I came back at 11 because we had to tie up a lot of things. And I came back in uniform. And we finished the dinner. And another thing happened that day. I written about it in my book. Suddenly, I got a call from my son on the army line because civil lines had been discontinued. That one of his friend's sister is in Kashmir University. She's doing PhD and she needs to be taken out. Anyway, I told my ADC, मैं कहा पता करो लड़की का नाम वगैरह पूछो, and send someone to Kashmir University and take her to the airport and let her board a flight. Anyway, they could locate the girl. Devya is her name. I'm still in touch with her. And they took her to the airport. Unfortunately for her, she couldn't get a ticket. And now imagine, I am in the middle of those meetings and trying to say kisko uthana hai, kisko nahi uthana hai, kya karna hai, kya nahi karna hai. And my ADC comes and tells me, sir, ladki ki flights to nahi mili. And I said, okay, you ask her if she wants to go back to her hostel or she wants to come to the cantonment. Now, so much was the propaganda in Kashmir University. This girl, she is from Jammu, she is a Hindu girl. She did not want to come into the army cantonment. She was fearing the army like this because so much was said about the army. Anyway, I told my ADC, I said, you ask her if she wants to. She didn't want to go back to the hostel. She didn't want to come to the army cantonment. But anyway, finally she decided to come to the army cantonment. We put her with an officer whose wife and mother were there. And then my ADC again comes to me, sir, wo to roye ja rahi hai. Oh, I said, yeah. Now imagine I'm managing 370 abrogation and this humanitarian issue is coming up. I said, तू एक काम कर, उसको ना घर पे बुला ले डिनर के लिए. वो धोनी से बात करेगी, 2-4 फोटो खींचेगी, ठीक हो जाएगी. And sure enough, by the time I got back home, and she was happy.
Wow! That is a master stroke.
Yes. And why I narrated this story is, not only me as a corps commander, but everyone in Kashmir on that day was helping someone or the other. In addition to doing his job. And the last session we were talking about education and technology and all. I would like to say in Kashmir, Indian Army runs 28 Army Goodwill schools. These schools, which one she also referred to, ma'am also referred to, these schools are totally tutored or teachered or, the faculty is 100% Kashmiri. Students are 100% Kashmiri. Only management, administration, security and funding is from the Army. 28 Army Goodwill schools, about 10,000 students at any one time. Complete faculty, complete administrative staff from Kashmir. In the last 25 years of history of Army Goodwill schools, not a single child for Army Goodwill school has joined terrorism. That is what good education can do. That is what good parenting can do. That is what good upbringing can do. Not a single boy from Army Goodwill school joined any terrorist organization. And I say it with so much of pride. The parents would walk up to me कि मेरे बच्चे को बस Army Goodwill school में ले लो आप. क्या वो 10 साल एक ही क्लास में रहे, but he will not go towards terrorism. That is the type of work Army and other security forces agencies are doing for education in Kashmir, or Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh included. and in other parts of the country also. Because wherever there is a remoteness, this aspect is being taken care.
और क्योंकि सर ने थोड़ी देर पहले एक प्रोपेगेंडा का जिक्र किया था, सर, which area is in Kupwara where they tried to malign army?
They do it every second day.
Yeah, what was the name of that area? Because I'm going to tell a story how people have changed, how there has been a change.
You're talking about Machhal or Lab or no, that you are talking about Kunan Poshpura.
Yeah.
And Kunan Poshpura, by the way, happened I think in 91.
Yeah, Kunnan Poshpura.
And that was my unit. I was a young captain that time.
Oh, wow.
That is just an addition.
Can you just narrate that?
And I was not in the unit that time, but I was posted in Mau Infantry School. And this incident happened in 1991, I think. I had got posted out in 90 to Infantry School Mau. There was a coordinate search operation. Kunan Poshpura is a twin village. And there was a coordinate search carried out. And this village is very close to a place called Tregam, where the brigade headquarters is there. And a lot of locals come to brigade headquarters for the medical treatment. And as the luck would have it, there is a register maintained there in the MI room, or that minor injury room, where anyone who comes there, his name is written and the doctor sees and the medicine is given. So this, my unit 4 Ajrif, they carried out the coordinate search. They recovered some weapons. The commanding officer was there. Some officers were there. The brigade commander came in the morning. They took a no objection or all clear from the Sarpanch. They were there till about 10:30, 11, 12, whatever time. And then the unit or the people who were doing this operation came back. After 3 days, those were the days of, that cassettes, that were recorded cassettes and all. After 3 days, the allegations came that army has indulged in mass rape in that village. And suddenly in Kupwara town, those cassettes started circulating. And the ladies as old as, I think, 70, 80 years also were named in that they have also been molested or raped. And then Mr. George Varghese, I think he is a very reputed person in the media fraternity, he carried out an independent inquiry. A lot of inquiries were carried out. And the ladies who were blaming the army, they had visited the MI room after the coordinate search and before the allegation came in. If a lady has been molested, why should she go to the army cantonment again? So that register which was maintained, that also became one of the evidence. So this Kunan Poshpura was a village. When later on I was a commanding officer there, I was a company command major there, I was a brigade commander in the same area. And known people, I've seen people who now will tell you in the hindsight or in the weaker moments, कि सब हमारे ऊपर बहुत दबाव था. We had to do it. So that was.
और मैंने ये एक्चुअली इसका जिक्र यहाँ पर इसलिए किया क्योंकि जिस कुन्नान पुष्पुरा की स्टोरी जिसमें आर्मी को टारगेट करने की कोशिश की गई, मलाइन करने की कोशिश की गई, मैं 2021 में क्योंकि कोविड आ गया, एब्रिगेशन के साथ साथ ही तो बहुत ज्यादा वहां पर कवरेज देखने को नहीं मिली. सो आई वेंट देयर सर एंड इट वाज क्वाइट अ चेंज ऑफ हार्ट. एंड व्हाई डू आई से दैट? क्योंकि जब ट्राई कलर की बात हो रही थी और प्राइम मिनिस्टर ट्राई कलर से जुड़ा एक बड़ा कैंपेन चला रहे थे, तो मेजॉरिटी ऑफ फ्लैग्स हैड कम फ्रॉम कुन्नान पोशपुरा. So that is what army has done. They have won battles on the ground. They have defeated propaganda on the ground, and they have ensured that there is change of heart on the ground. और जब सर अभी आपको बता रहे हैं आर्टिकल 370 के एब्रिगेशन से पहले मैंने खुद बहुत सारे डिस्कशंस किए हैं, तो आपको याद होगा महबूबा मुफ्ती कहती थी हमारे इसको तो जोड़ता है आर्टिकल 370, अगर हटा दिया तो तिरंगा उठाने वाला एक हाथ नहीं होगा. So from that statement to see tiranga everywhere, India has come a very long way, and the credit goes to the Indian Army. And I really salute for that, because these men work hard. You give them gali, you keep abusing them, they will not take it to their heart. मैं कितना इनको बोलूं, criticize करूं, जब मेरी जान मुसीबत में आएगी, ये सबसे पहले आएंगे मुझे बचाने के लिए. They'll forget what I have said about them. So that is why I really appreciate, sir, what you do on the ground, how you fight that propaganda, how you ensure that nobody can question your integrity, and really hats off to you. Please, huge round of applause for him.
I'll give you a small incident which happened when I was co-commander. And since I've had multiple tenures, so a lot of media people were already known to me. And one gentleman who was very vociferous and who was never very polite on the army, He gives me a call at 11:30, 12 in the night, ke sir, Tangdhar, which he referred to, uske raste mein ek aata Sadhana Pass. The name is Nastachun Pass, but that Hindi movie actress Sadhana probably had visited sometime. So someone named it Sadhana Pass. So Sadhana Pass was blocked because of snowfall and some civilian buses were caught up in that. So he tells me that sir, वहाँ पे civil की buses फंसी हुई हैं, civilians फंसे हुए हैं. तो इतना क्या किए? तो सर आप कुछ कीजिए. Actually, he was looking for a story. And anyway, I called up my boys, people there. I said, पहले तो खाना बनाओ, खाना गरम लेके जाओ. जो भी है खाना वाना दो, कंबल वंबल दो. In the meantime, try and clear the snow and let me know when it's done. So by 4:30 in the morning, they gave me a call, sir, it's done. The buses have reached Tangdhar. I called up this gentleman. I said, "We wo ho gaya hai, wo buses Tangdhar pahunch gayi hai, sab kuch." And you know, this chap became a fan of mine after that. He said, "Sir, मैं तो ऐसे करके बोल के मैं तो सो गया, कहता आप सारी रात जागते रहे वो करने के लिए." That is how Indian Army or the security forces in Kashmir work on the quiet. They don't go to the town announcing their ability. So these are small things which are there. And ma'am talked about 370 and how the former chief minister said कि खून की नदियां बह जाएंगी. Someone said तिरंगे को कंधा देने वाला कोई नहीं होगा if 370 was removed. And when 370 was removed on 5th of August 2019, 3 months after that were the most peaceful 3 months in the history of Kashmir terrorism. Not a single civilian life was lost at the hands of security forces. Whatever happened was done by the terrorists because they wanted to impose local curfew. And a lot of people say that curfew laga tha, wo lockdown tha, this terminology lockdown and all that. I'll give you 2 examples. The ambassadors of various countries and high commissioners were called to Kashmir to see for themselves. And then German ambassador, he wrote in a news article, I didn't see any lockdown. And a particular journalist was coming to me to interview me. And, you know, it's not good manners to speak against the host. You know, I am being hosted by the... But no, I'll tell you. So this gentleman took the time and he said, okay, sir, so-and-so date, 11 o'clock, say, the time was fixed. And I was waiting for him in the office and suddenly by about 10:30, 10:35, my staff told me, sir, that gentleman is here. I said, okay, we can start. So he came in and by the time they're fixing up the cameras and all, he said, sir, I'm sorry, you know, I miscalculated the travel time from airport to your office. Now this is after the abrogation had happened. So I said, koi baat nahi. He said, sir, I calculated it will take about 1 hour, but it just took about 30 odd minutes. I said, yes, itna time lagta hai. He said, but I thought मेरे को जगह जगह पे रोकेंगे, लॉकडाउन होगा, मेरा चेकिंग करेंगे, मेरे से ये पूछेंगे, मेरे से वो पूछेंगे. So he says, वहाँ तो कोई लॉकडाउन नहीं है, सब दुकानें खुली हुई हैं, everyone is moving freely and they just, no one stopped me anywhere. And I came like a bullet and 30 minutes I was here. I said, बस हाँ ऐसे ही है, लॉकडाउन तो is your terminology, the media terminology. You know, that is when he told me, he said, sir, I write 2 articles every month and on Kashmir. And I thought एक बार जाके देख के आता हूँ. एक बार जाकर के ग्राउंड पे देख कर आता हूँ. And he has been writing 2 articles a month. That is how wrong perceptions are painted. That is how wrong images are painted. Like there are, I think, 150 odd police station jurisdictions in Jammu and Kashmir. This lockdown thing. Only in, I think, 3 or 4 CRPC 144 was imposed for few days. That too where very critical installations were there, which we could not afford to get them damaged. Only 3 or 4 police station jurisdictions, CRPC 144 was imposed. That is 5 people or more cannot go together. 1, 2, 3, 4, you can go pick up a milk for a child, pick up bread, pick up eggs. You can do whatever. You can go to the ATM, you can go to the bank. And you can go and pick up your medicines, you can go to the hospital. There is nothing like lockdown. This I am telling you with a lot of conviction and a lot of authority at my hand. There was no lockdown. People are moving around freely who wanted to. Terrorists were trying to impose local lockdown. They were telling people not to open up shops. They killed a shopkeeper. They were telling people not to ply buses and trucks. They killed a driver. So this is how the situation was handled. Not a single bullet was fired by security forces in those 3 months. And rest, as they said, history, na khoon ki nadiyan bahi, तिरंगे को कंधे की बात तो छोड़ो, तिरंगा तो अभी हर घर पे तिरंगा है. So that's how it works.
और सर जो 3 महीने की बात कर रहे हैं, मैं उससे पहले के 1 साल की बात आपसे करना चाहती हूँ, क्योंकि हमारी मेमोरी जो होती है, हम थोड़ी सी कमजोर याददाश्त होती है, हम भूल जाते हैं. जब वो टीवी से कोई चीज आउट हो जाती है, सोशल मीडिया से आउट हो जाती है, तो हम भूल जाते हैं. अब जम्मू कश्मीर इतना नॉर्मल लगता है कि कभी लगता ही नहीं है कि आर्टिकल 370 था वहां पर. तो हमें यहाँ, मतलब मैं अपने लिए बोल सकती हूँ, इफ प्रोवोक्ड आई वुड रिएक्ट. और मुझे कहने में कोई शर्म नहीं आ रही है. इफ यू स्लैप मी 2 times, I'll react. I'll hit you back. But here is a gentleman who has commanded a team, a unit, where there were incidents of stone pelting. People were provoking them like anything. I'm sure all of you must have seen those videos. There was so much of provocation. Imagine you holding a gun and people are coming after you and still you're not firing. How much restraint it requires. What sort of training you must have got. And I brought it up deliberately because we are talking about education. इससे बड़ा संयम कोई हो सकता है कि you are holding a gun and people are throwing pelting stones at you, they are calling you names and they are running a propaganda against you and still you are not firing. So that's what Indian Army has done, and that is what I would never forget. Never ever.
Yeah, thank you ma'am for bringing it up. देखिए ये जो है ना, जो मैम ने बोला कि आई विल रिएक्ट, आई विल नॉट टेक इट. एज अ प्रोफेशनल्स वी डोंट बिलीव इन टेकिंग रिवेंज, वी डोंट बिलीव इन अवेंजिंग, वी डोंट बिलीव इन रिटेलिएटिंग. Whenever something happens, whenever an incident happens, whenever there is an issue, we do not come back as revengeful or retaliatory. We come back with a better resolve, more resolute, to finish the issue. हमारे जो सशक्तिकरण है ना, वो ज्यादा होता है. We don't come down to street fighting. And ये जो स्टोन पेल्टिंग की बात कर रहे हैं, हुर्रियत का ही एक बड़ा लीडर था. When I took over as corps commander, I told him, I said, 1 साल में आपकी दुकान बंद कर देंगे. और कर दी. ये जो है ना कैलेंडर आता था उनका, कैलेंडर की आज हड़ताल, कल हड़ताल, परसों हड़ताल. तो अभी हड़ताल का अगर इश्यू भी होती है कोई कैलेंडर की डेट, no one adheres to it. And why this has happened? It's not happened because of security forces or because of this or that. It happened because Awam wanted peace. People were the stakeholders. And now that they have, sensed and tasted the dividends of peace, now it is irreversible. And why I'm saying this, I'm not making a statement without base. I'm basing my statement on facts. You can check the data year on year, quarter on quarter, month on month. There are positive indicators of terrorism, there are negative indicators of terrorism. The negative indicators are how many encounters, how many terrorists killed, how many security forces killed, how many civilians killed, how many terrorists initiated incident, how many terrorists committed atrocities, how many young boys joined terrorist organizations. If these indicators are high, that means terrorism is high. Positive indicators are how many tourists, what is the hotel booking, how many flights, what is the occupancy in the flights, how much cash is dispensed from the ATMs, how many people are going to the hospital and the dispensary and the medicines, how many days the schools are open. All these are positive indicators, and all the positive indicators are up, all the negative indicators are down. Negative indicator like stone pelting is down to almost zero. एंड जब ये चीज ट्रांसलेट करती है ना, जिसके घर में 2000 रुपया कमाई थी, अब जब टूरिस्ट आ रहे हैं, कश्मीर इज बेस्ड ऑन टूरिज्म, कश्मीर इज बेस्ड ऑन कॉटेज इंडस्ट्री, कश्मीर इज बेस्ड ऑन एग्रो इंडस्ट्री, एप्पल्स, वॉलनट्स, स्ट्रॉबेरी, नेम अ फ्रूट इट इज देयर, पेपर मैशे, carpets, namdas, gabas, walnut furniture, the cottage industry. Tourism, of course. And जिसके घर में 2000 रुपया आ रहा था, आज उसके घर में अगर 10,000 रुपया आ रहा है, do you think that child would want to go back to those black days? So this is where the people, the stakeholders, the reapers of the dividends of peace make the call whether there should be terrorism or there should be no terrorism. And that is where the achievement has happened, that people now don't want to go back to those days.
Sir, last question. I know I'm supposed to conclude, sir. I'm going to make you wait for another 2-3 minutes.
No, I'm enjoying it thoroughly.
And with your permission, I'm going to ask this question because यहाँ पर we were discussing technology. पुलवामा की बात हम कर रहे थे. इंडिया ने जवाब दिया था बालाकोट एयर स्ट्राइक से और उसके बाद विंग कमांडर अभिनंदन. उनके पास में एक बाइजन था. F-16 को उन्होंने मार गिराया था. एक डॉग फाइट थी, बहुत चर्चा हुई थी. तो जब मैं टेक्नोलॉजी के बारे में बात करती हूँ, मैं एक लाइन कभी नहीं भूलती और वो लाइन ये है, मशीन तो ठीक है, लेकिन मशीन को जो आदमी चला रहा है और जो सोल्जर चला रहा है, that person plays a key role.
Absolutely, ma'am. Wars are not won by machines. Wars are won by jigra. ये जो जिगरा है ना, especially our northern borders, high altitude, the highest battlefields of the world. Our soldiers stay on those battlefields, stay on those 20 feet of snow, 30 feet of snow, minus 50 degrees, day in and day out. Our soldiers are fighting terrorism day in and day out. They are seeing live bullets. How can a young boy with 17 years of age, जिसके खानदान की 3 पीढ़ी में he is the only earning member and 1 child norm has done the damage? How do you think he will stand to this burly soldier who has spent 20 years in this altitude? इस बंदे में ना जिगरा है. इस बंदे में वो मादा है कि मैं लड़ूंगा इधर. He is not a mama's boy who will cry. So that is where technology has a role. लेकिन जहां पे हिंदुस्तान की फौज लड़ रही है ना, वहां पे टेक्नोलॉजी के ऊपर भी कुछ चाहिए. And that matters. And that matters.
जो सर ने अभी बहुत आराम से आपको कह दिया ना कि हाईएस्ट बैटलफील्ड सियाचिन में गई हूँ. पोस्ट पर नहीं गई थी मैं, लेकिन मैं बेस कैंप तक गई हूँ. बस 2 लाइन में आपको बता देती हूँ. आप वहां पर पानी गर्म करना पड़ता है. आप वॉशरूम भी जाएंगे तो आपको पानी चाहिए गर्म, और तभी का तभी उस पानी को आपको इस्तेमाल करना है, क्योंकि अगर आपने 1 मिनट लगा दिया, 1 मिनट, वो बर्फ जम जाती है उसकी. आपको इतने सारे लेयर्स वहां पर पहनने पड़ते हैं. मैं तो आर्मी से ही यूनिफॉर्म लेना पड़ा बिकॉज आई कुडंट हैव सर्वाइव्ड अदरवाइज. इतने सारे चैलेंजेस के बीच हमारे सोल्जर खड़े रहते हैं, और कुछ लोग हैं जो अपना प्रोपेगेंडा चलाते हैं इनके कंधे पे बंदूक रखकर. मेरी शिकायत सिर्फ ऐसे ही लोगों से है, लेकिन मैं चाहती हूं आप लोग जो इस देश की आवाम है, जब तक हम इनके लिए लड़ते रहेंगे, इन्हें ना कोई बदनाम कर सकता है. इनका सिर्फ नाम ही होना चाहिए और नाम ही होगा.
I'll just take 30 seconds. ऐसी पोस्ट हैं जहां पे रात को आप सोते हो, दरवाजा बंद करके अपने बंकर का, सुबह 4 लड़के आके बाहर से पहले 10 फुट स्नो हटाते हैं, फिर दरवाजा खोलते हैं. In the night, the bunker goes under snow. There is a pipe which is jetted out so that the oxygen can keep coming in. So, this is where your army is fighting. This is where your army is fighting to keep you safe, keep you peaceful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. General sir, Jai Hind, Vande Mataram.
Thank you and
Thank
Jai
you.
Hind.
So big round of applause for our special guest, sir. We are truly honored to have you with us. So please stay on stage. Now I would like to invite Mr. Meet Jammu, Regional Head, News18 Punjab Haryana, JKLH, to please come on stage and felicitate our special guest. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. We are truly honored to have you with us. Thapar Institute presents News18 Punjab Haryana Education Summit Season-5. Innovate, Educate, Elevate, powered by Reliance Industries Limited and overseas education partner ESS Global. It's time to felicitate our partners, but before that, can we have the AV of Thapar University? Now, I would like to invite Mr. Jagdeep Jammu, Regional Head, News18 Punjab Haryana JKLS, to please come on stage to felicitate our special partner. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Gurvinder Singh, Registrar, Thapar University, to please come on stage. For being a part of this education summit. Without all of you, this event would not have been a successful one. Thank you all for watching. Now I would like to invite all my panelists to please come on stage for a group photograph.